Okay, so last night, Stardust made some of the most unforced errors I've ever seen. First of all, she accepted debate with BPF over the Hunter Avallone stuff. Big fucking mistake. BPF is gonna chokeslam you rhetorically. Further than that, though, she agreed to have it moderated and hosted on the kill stream by Ethan Ralph. Again, no fucking idea why she would accept that. But it gets worse, guys, okay? Because once she gets into the debate, Andrew Wilson decides he wants to talk to Beckett. He's done talking to Stardust. He wants to talk to the man, okay? He wants to talk to the man of the house. There's business to be settled, okay? So he brings Beckett in, and what we see as a result is like 4 hours of the most insane mental child drama of just like adults almost ruining their relationship live over a fucking internet debate about whether some other man is a pussy pulling out his phone while his girlfriend was getting shot at. Baffling. Insane. Andrew Wilson has peaked. Just saying. Okay, I love the guy, but he's peaked. Okay? I don't think you get better than like almost tearing a relationship apart over an internet debate. I don't know if anyone's ever made such a power move before. But we're gonna just watch through it, okay? We're gonna watch the whole debate, see how we get to the call-in. We're just gonna go through. We're gonna start on 2x because Stardust is fucking unbearable on anything slower than 1.5. And we'll just start getting through it. So I hope you guys enjoy this.
Hello? Chat, can you hear me?
Is this a blind watch or a pre-watch? This is a pre-watch, a lot of it. I haven't seen the debate. I saw the Beckett's call-in. I saw a lot of the aftermath because I was just in Discord watching it. But I haven't seen the first part, so.
There, that's better. Okay. I'm only streaming on YouTube. Hello. Oh, I should probably just temporarily stream on. Hello, Ben Franklin. Hello, hello. Are you debating someone? Yeah, I'm debating Andrew Wilson.
Okay. Chris Blettis, basically Stardust, what did she say? She was like, she repeatedly threatened to break up. She said, this is over. Like a chatter said, is Beckett available now? And, you know, she goes, have him, you know, oh, we have nothing in common. Oh, we've got so many differences. Like all this shit, called him a cuck. You know, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Okay. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. They did actually, they literally were like, she did kind of break up with him on stream, but it was one of those where it's like, she said she's breaking up with him, but you know that they're DMing in the background that they're gonna fix it in the background, okay? Spoilers is spoilers, yeah, listen, guys, stop, okay? The title is not bait. They did actually almost, or kind of did, end their relationship on stream. That's the point, okay? Let's just fucking watch this. Let's stop getting distracted.
I only went live on Twitch to let Twitch people know. Looking good, by the way. Thank you.
The Stardust and Beckett ever met in person, yes.
And on YouTube, so amazing outfit. Thank you. Very kind of you. Very prairie look, I guess. All right. What up, Caleb? You stream on Kick? No, I've always streamed on Kick. I've been streaming on Kick for quite a bit. Kick.com/Stardust. So,
we skip to when the kill stream starts.
If you would like to start off, you can. It doesn't really matter who starts here.
Andrew, why don't you go first?
Yeah,
Okay,
I have-
so yeah, this it's just insane that last night we got, while Metica was back for his possible final stream, we also got like possibly the best kill stream episode I've seen in years. Pretty crazy.
an opening statement here.
The
Okay, that's fine.
sector is
Go ahead.
fucking
So, I
back.
wanted to dive into that. By the way, nice to see you, Stardust.
Nice to see
how you
you
doing
too.
this evening?
No,
So appreciate
not
you
even
coming out for the
close.
debate, and I appreciate Ethan Ralph hosting it and inviting me very much. And I'm looking forward to having some good old-fashioned blood sports on the kill stream. One of the places where I got my start in the entire
So Stardust and Mr. Gold did not fuck. I do not believe. No.
arena. So they still have a soft spot there. Though me and Ethan have had our back and forth says there's still a bit of a soft spot there.
One or two. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, moving back into this, the curious case of Hunter Avallone isn't particularly curious to anybody. For those of you who are unaware, let me give a breakdown of Hunter, which is somewhat comprehensive, so everybody's on the same page. Hunter started his YouTube career being part of the Con Incorporated gang, PragerU, and others. He made low IQ videos and attached himself to the anti-SJW wave that made many YouTubers famous between 2016-17, leading into 18, finally crashing in 2019. This in turn led to the great purge of YouTube, getting rid of most right-wing thought leaders and causing Avallone to panic, sensing his gravy train was about to be over. By 2020, Avallone completely flipped his political position, supporting Biden for president. He flipped every single one of his political positions. The man is the definition of a grifter and a scumbag with zero convictions of any kind. For those of you who are unaware, Avallone is broke and divorced, living in a rundown shithole somewhere out in West Virginia, I'm told. His wife, Carissa, left him due to his inability to sexually satisfy her, or so the rumor has it. She convinced him to do OnlyFans prostitution content, which he did, and after leaving him, decided to engage in group sex and a gangbang with multiple black men and a camel. No, I'm not fucking kidding. That all happened. His career death spiral is still next level. His latest escapade, which I call Operation Human Shield, sees Hunter Avallone.
You know what Chud was vague posting about? I think the general feeling in Spicy Chat right now is that it's something from Cherry, Xanderhall's editor, that incriminates Keffels in some way.
Become the rebound for a mentally ill woman who just broke up with a mentally ill man. As if that wasn't poor enough decision-making on Hunter's part, he then decided to taunt and talk shit to this mentally disturbed individual. Only this time, it appears, Hunter's antics caught up with him. This lunatic had planted a set of AirPods in his new squeezed suitcase. Her overnight bag of condoms and shame also included these tracking devices, which he then proceeded to follow the signal of to end the life of one Hunter Avallone. Not to be outdone by his previous stupidity, he talked shit to this lunatic who showed up armed to find an unarmed and totally helpless Hunter. Hunter did, in that case, what most rational men would do, of course, and stood there fucking slackjaw as his new best friend pulled out a shotgun and blasted through a sliding glass door, just narrowly avoiding making his new squeeze.
His new best friend, Conrad. Oh, man. We'll put this on 1.5. I love hearing BPF spit.
Permanently in need of a one-legged partner for all future potato sack races. Luckily, Hunter did the most courageous thing he could and shouted and screamed, "Run," while running away and retreated to his back deck where he recorded his now bleeding beloved holding onto his blood-soaked sweatshirt as he panicked, waiting for the police to get there. That's the saga of Avallone, a coward and a fucking moron. And with that, I would absolutely love to get into this with Stardust.
Go ahead, Stardust. Whatever you want to do for your open.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, thank you as well, Andrew, for engaging in this with me, and thank you, Ethan, for having me on. So regardless of what Hunter's past is, regardless of like what his ex-wife does, right? Like, I don't really care. I will be like the first one to say I'm not a huge fan of the way that Hunter debates. I don't really like his style, right? That being said, I think that this incident is pretty cut and dry. When you're looking at what experts say about surviving an active shooter, they give 3 steps, right? Those steps.
Dude, this is so unfair. Wait, this is such an unfair comment. No, this is not true. Imagine women in your country being so unsightly that you go for Stardust. It's just Beckett. It's just Beckett, bro. It's just Beckett. Okay? It's not that bad.
3 options. Those options are run is number 1 and the most optimal one that they all advise for you to do. And by run with purpose, run with a plan. And the point of running is to get away from the active shooter. Option number 2 is hiding. Not as optimal as running, but if you have no other options and you have an option to hide, that is another thing that you can do. Then the third, the least recommended one, the one that they say to do only in last resort situations, is fight. And even in the fight situation, you are not just going in guns blazing. You are setting up an ambush. You are making sure that the person who is
dating in Britain is fucked. What do you mean by that?
Coming after you is walking directly into your path. According to Cade Courtley, a former U.S. Navy SEAL, who wrote a whole guide on this whole thing, he says, as soon as you hear shots, the first thing you must do is remove yourself from the immediate vicinity of the source of the gunfire, which is referred to as the kill zone or the X, and do so without hesitation. If there is no safe escape route, you must find a good hiding place. As you move away from gunfire, create obstacles after you that make it harder for the gunman to follow you. Lock and barricade doors, silence cell
Like your
phones.
girlfriend?
After finding,
Couldn't help it.
after finding a hiding place, prepare a defense plan.
You're such a cunt.
Fight is only as a last resort. You should fight. Even in this scenario, there is strategy. Even if armed, you must have a strategy. Cade Courtley, again, former U.S. Navy SEAL, says it's best to try to capitalize on the shooter's lack of discipline or training and attempt to set an ambush. The best ambush is one in which your target ends up in the exact location you want them in. They should be walking right into your trap. Now, just to give some background on the incident itself, Holly had recently broken up with Conrad. They had been dating for 11 some years. She had alleged that there had been some abuse in the relationship and that he would have scary swings in temperament like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. In any other scenario, you know, we would say, like, let's wait it out and see. I think the dude showing up with a gun probably is pretty indicative of that being generally true. She traveled across the country to see and stay with Hunter.
He was just like this fictional character. I hate this when we're like talking about actual shit. Oh man.
Shortly after.
Who was it that made some fucking Darth Vader analogy? Who was it that did that? Was it in that Keffel's rape review thing yesterday?
Arriving, she discovered Apple AirTags that Conrad had planted in her luggage so he could find out where Hunter lived. Conrad had made threats to kill Avallone prior to this.
Frank Wu. Oh, yes. He compared his ex-wife to fucking Darth Vader, didn't he? Holy shit. And himself to Luke Skywalker. Oh, that was it. Yep.
As Holly and Hunter slowly grew closer over the span of 3 months. And you know, yes, he had made threats to kill Hunter. At the same time, I can see, you know, people say that they're going to kill people all the time. But, you know, it's a hard situation, right? You never really know what's going to happen. So 5 days after discovering the AirTags, Hunter received a call from his landlord. And apparently there had been a man loitering around the building trying to get in, saying that he was friends with Hunter. Hunter and Holly were apprehensive about that and probably uncomfortable with it. But they carefully walked down the stairs of their apartment building and peered out the apartment building's glass door. And that's when Conrad suddenly entered the view carrying a shotgun. He advanced towards Hunter and Holly. Hunter, as most people are in a survival situation, and let me remind you, who was the wrestler who said everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth?
That was Mike Tyson, the boxer.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And what was the line right after that? Like a rat, something like a rat, they freeze and you know, and basically that's what happens. But so Hunter.
And the line after that, like a rat, they freeze, and basically that's what happens.
In that moment, was kind of trying to understand what was happening. Holly, guessing what Conrad might do, an incredible act of bravery, sprang into action and stepped in between Hunter and Conrad. And then Conrad started unloading around, and Hunter and Holly fled out the building. Holly was struck with a ricocheting slug just outside her right kneecap, and also glass shrapnel also injured her. She was bleeding as they ran to the apartment and locked the door. Now, in this situation, they've already done the two things that Cade Courtley has advised in his guide, right? Run and hide. So they fled up the stairs of the apartment building. They ran into the apartment, and they locked the door, right? From that point forward, they moved to the apartment's back porch, and they barricaded themselves there, right? That again, moving to a further location.
Right, guys, I'll improve this a little bit.
And so there's the obstacle of the apartment door being locked. Then there's this other obstacle of the barricaded apartment back porch. And because it's outside, that is a good thing. And a lot of these guides that they talk about surviving an active shooter, they talk about moving to a place where people can rescue you. So they move to the back porch. They call 911, and Hunter tries to stop the flow of blood that Holly is having with his sweatshirt. A few moments later, Conrad is aggressively pounding on their apartment door. He's trying to shoot the door open. At some point during the altercation, Hunter turns on his phone to record. In the recording, you can hear officers arriving, screaming at Conrad to surrender, heavy gunfire. At some point, Holly texts Conrad, and Conrad ends up shooting himself, right? Now, in this, like, yes, it may not look like the most optimal thing, or it might not look like the most heroic thing, but they are following everything that most experts say to do in an active shooter situation.
Your Discord, not mine.
Now, if you want to ask me, I think the debate question is Hunter a pussy? I don't think so, right? I don't think he's a pussy. If you want to ask me, is Holly a fucking hero? Absolutely, yeah, I would say so. I think she's a hero. I think she you know, she's a badass. But I don't think he's a pussy. So.
All right, go ahead, Andrew. You can start the back and forth dialogue here.
Okay, I did interject. I know it's bad form. I did interject.
No,
I couldn't help it. I couldn't
really
help
should
it.
interject.
I shouldn't, but it was fucking hilarious.
I know.
Okay. Okay, so what did you say this Navy SEAL's name is? Cade Courtley?
Courtley. I can send you the link to
Cade
the
Courtley.
document.
Well, I just want to know, is it pronounced Cade Courtley?
Cade, I believe. Cade Courtley.
Like C-A-D-E?
Yeah.
Okay. What does Cade Courtley say about talking shit to crazy people on the internet and fucking their ex-girlfriends just after they broke up with? What does he say?
It wasn't just after.
What is the tactical advice
So here's the thing.
for talking shit? Hang on, let me ask my question. What is the tactical advice from Cade on humping a deranged lunatic ex-girlfriend just recently after a breakup and then taunting the guy? What is his advice there, Stardust?
Okay. So just to address what you're saying, Holly herself has said that that's not true. That Hunter was not talking trash to Conrad, and that this did not happen days after they broke up. Hunter and Holly began a friendship, and over the span of 3 months, they slowly grew closer. Right? It's not like he started fucking her the day after they broke up.
So he never challenged this guy to a debate
I'm sure he has.
over abusive relationships.
I don't know him.
Wait, wait, I missed this. Did Hunter really challenge his current girlfriend's ex-boyfriend to a debate over abusive relationships? Did that actually happen? Is this something I've just totally missed? Bro, no, I did not know this. No, what the fuck? No, they didn't debate, but Hunter challenged him to a debate about abusive relationships. Dude. I can't decide if it's based or not. I just can't. It's hurting. I can't figure it out. I think it might be based.
about that.
Let me interject you because I just want to get the timeline right because we covered it on the show. Again, I'm not taking a side in this debate, although I have my own opinions. But there was a picture of her and Conrad out. I guess it was like sometime in October, and then later in October, she, I guess, officially or at least publicly got with Hunter. Now, is it being said that she wasn't with Conrad when that picture was taken, or what?
No,
Yeah,
I
what's the
think
deal?
her and Hunter had started a friendship. But it was not until like the end of 3 months that they started to like kind of develop a relationship.
So I guess all I'm trying to say is maybe we could get like an agreement on this. I don't know actually, but how long was she broken up from Conrad when she got with Hunter? Now, I've said 11 days on the air because it was 11 days between that photo and when she said that. But if she wasn't still with him,
That's the information I also got.
Yeah,
About 11 days.
I don't think it was. I think it was longer than 11 days because again, it was over the span of 3 months that Hunter
Yeah,
and
but
her.
was she with the guy while she was talking to Hunter?
No.
How do you know? How do you know that?
They've said as much.
Yeah, but so what? That's it, right?
I mean, I have to take people at their word,
That's why
right?
Ralph's pushing back the timeline. He's like,
Well,
why is this picture here?
I just want to get it right. I'm
They
not
were
trying to
together,
decide.
you're right. So they were together for 11 years. They did live together, right? It's not that out of the ordinary, even after having broken up, especially if they still live together, for them to have had a picture together, right? So
Yeah, right. You could be right. Yeah, that's just what the general belief is, I guess. So I'm not saying that was right. I just if you knew, that's why I was asking. All right, go ahead. Andrew, sorry,
Anyway, my question still stands. What is the proper etiquette? Do you think that Cade would recommend being the rebound of a chick who's coming out of an abusive relationship with a what she would consider a dangerous man, and then Hunter talks shit to this guy? Do you think that was wise decision making, Stardust?
again, they've said that they didn't talk shit to him.
Yeah,
So-
well, Hunter says differently in his tweet. He says this guy thinks getting into a fight with someone over the phone justifies them trying to shoot you with a fucking shotgun. Those were his exact words.
Okay, do we know what he said
He seems
on
to be
the phone?
making the claim there, and then in his follow-up video, which is hence deleted, he explained that they had back and forth.
Yeah, okay, I'll say this, right? Listen, it would be cowardly to let a woman die for you, okay? BPF is correct. However, if you think I'm dying for a bitch I've known for a month, not a fucking chance. Not a fucking chance. There is literally not a fucking chance. I can get a new girlfriend of a month. Like, you know, I'm sure we can manage that, okay? Well, I'm okay to get a replacement, alright? I don't need this one that bad.
Live on air. That actually happened
Okay.
live. He had a back and forth with him. So if he's taunting this guy, which apparently he was doing, right? Don't you think that your Navy SEAL who you're quoting would say that's probably a bad
No,
fucking
it's probably,
idea?
I would agree with you. I think that it's a bad idea to taunt somebody, but that still doesn't excuse this dude showing up with a fucking
Didn't make a
gun trying to shoot him.
justification,
Yeah.
but rather I'm giving a descriptor for the course of events first. That
Sure.
it's not all just black and white. It's not, ooh, Hunter, the poor victim, had no idea what he's doing. The guy who is notorious for talking shit about people and then not being able to back it up, backing down from every single debate from anybody who's competent to debate him, to backing away from basically every sort of confrontation imaginable. Why are we to assume that he wouldn't do the exact same thing in this instance, talk shit to this guy so that his new squeeze thinks he's a big
There's no way Hunter didn't say, "Oh, you're gonna kill me, do it," then his Spurg voice over the phone. I would try and do an impression, but I don't think I can.
tough guy, and then the dude shows up and he bit off a little bit more than he could fucking chew.
I think that, again, like the only thing that I can see where he did talk trash about him, and again, I'll take your word for the video, but I don't know what happened in that video. But the one thing that I can see is that maybe he talked trash to the guy on the phone. It's still, I still don't know what to say about that. Yeah, is it inadvisable? Sure, but how does that change the situation where they were actually in the incident where this guy showed up with a gun? The
Because let me
incident with the
explain.
gun, he still followed the protocol. He
No,
still followed
no,
the
he didn't
protocol.
follow any protocol. He ran like a fucking coward. But before we get into that, right, let me explain a couple things.
Running is the optimal thing that you're supposed to do.
No, well, listen, I've been teaching self-defense for the last, I think, 12 years.
Yeah, but
I'm
being
a,
in self
stop, let me finish.
Okay, sorry, fine.
Okay, so I've been training this for years. You can literally, I mean, it's not hard to find, but I've been an FFL holder for most of my adult life, and I've taught concealed carry training from everything to police officers to prison guards. I know a bit about what I'm talking about. Let me explain this to you so that you understand. Somebody who's well versed in defense, especially against guns, knows this. The first thing that you're taught, the best way to defend yourself with firearms is never get in a situation to begin with, ever. And the best way that you don't do that is you don't go looking for trouble, and generally, trouble doesn't find you. Okay, that's the way.
Oh, gee, yeah, but he's just spitting there. He's just spitting. The best way to avoid getting killed is don't put yourself in situations where you're gonna get killed. Probably, I would say, don't debate. Don't challenge your psycho abusive, your girlfriend's psycho abusive ex-boyfriend to a debate about abusive relationships. You know, I would say let's probably just not fuck around with that. Let's probably just not bother. Let's just move on. Try to forget about this guy, maybe.
That works. So don't go looking in dark alleys. Don't be taunting people. Don't be talking shit to people while you're armed. That's generally speaking a very bad idea. Best way to avoid trouble is not to get involved in it to begin with. So you're telling me, well, wait, after Hunter had talked a bunch of shit, taunted this guy, the guy shows up, he's mentally deranged. Then he did the right thing, which happens to be the panic protocol. So he's unarmed. What else can he do but run? Well, to kind of quote Unforgiven, the movie, I guess he should have armed himself before running his fucking mouth, right? That's usually the smart thing to do.
I think the average person does not think that somebody is going to actually show up with a gun. Like what are the odds, really, right?
The average person doesn't think they're gonna get in a car accident?
I won't disagree with you that it's inadvisable, but a car accident is significantly more likely than somebody showing up to your apartment with a gun.
Well, likelihood has nothing to do with the preparation for the worst. In fact, if you were to, for instance, go out hiking, your chances of having a major injury are not very good. They're just not. But most hikers carry a first aid kit with them to take care of heavy injuries. Same thing in a vehicle, you carry a first aid kit. In other words, you take mitigating actions in case the worst happens.
Okay, yes, it's very unlikely that someone's going to show up at your house with a gun. But it's also very unlikely that you're going to be in a situation where you're talking shit to your girlfriend's abusive ex-boyfriend over the phone about debating on abusive relationships, whatever the fuck. You know, like the more weird situations with aggressive, unstable people you put yourself in, the higher that chance of someone showing up at your house with a gun is. And so you should start acting accordingly, especially if you're starting to, you know, start seeing more warning signs of a bad situation, right? Didn't dude say he was coming? Yeah, I believe so. So like, especially once you're at that point, you know, like, okay, that there's actually a really elevated chance that there is going to be someone at my door with a gun.
Inside of a vehicle, for instance, your chance of getting a flat tire probably aren't very good, but you probably carry a spare tire with you and a jack. The same thing applies here. A firearm for personal protection is the exact same thing. It's like a condom, right? I'd rather have one and not need it than need it and not have one.
Right, we can say that he should have had a firearm, but the fact of the situation is that he didn't have one. And in every guide that I've seen in dealing with an active shooter situation for a civilian, not for people who work in prisons, not for people who are police officers, for civilians who are in these situations, the number one thing that they advise is for you to evacuate yourself from the situation where the gunfire is happening. And that is what he and Holly did.
Yeah, but that's not my issue, and that's not the argument that I'm bringing to the table. I'm not bringing the argument to the table that Hunter should have rushed at this guy when he pulled out a firearm, okay? Though, also, you should probably give that same criticism back towards his woman, who you call the hero. Interestingly enough, for not following the protocol and throwing herself in front of him.
She still followed the protocol.
How did she follow the protocol by jumping in front of the active shooter?
She stepped in between.
I'm not leaving him alone. No, we need a even update.
Hunter and Conrad, but
So
she
that's
still
not
so long.
She still fled when they were fleeing, though.
Yeah, I know, but she didn't follow the protocol, right?
You're saying, haha, no.
But yet she's a hero, interestingly enough, in your eyes, because she didn't follow the fucking
Someone
protocol.
just
You still follow
joined.
the protocol. You can step between people and still flee.
Okay, so Hunter says that as he was fleeing, and this is directly from, let me pull up the source here.
Mhm.
There was a whole ton of these stories which were written. One second.
That's fine.
Okay, so this one's
Pretty
coming
sure
up
that was
from
Ethan.
the Daily Voice, but there has been many more mainstream outlets who basically all copied the same
He's going to prison. Update complete. No ways. No. Stop the cap.
story. In this, what is quoted is that she jumped between Hunter Avallone to allow him to flee, thinking that this guy would not shoot at her.
Mhm.
That's what she thought. That's
Yeah.
why she did it. So she would not be following the protocol that you have laid out by this guy. She did the opposite, and yet you praise her as a hero for not following the protocol. Seems like you want to have your cake and eat it too.
So what I'll say is that she may have not initially fled as quickly as she should have. Sure, but she still jumped in. She jumped in front of, she jumped in between them, and she still did flee with Hunter after that.
Yeah, but she didn't. Your whole argument here is to say this protocol, which is in place by this Navy SEAL, which says flee immediately when shots ring out. This is what you should
not
do. This is what
immediately,
you're supposed to
but flee
do.
with
However,
strategy.
well, when should you flee?
Flee with intention and with strategy, right? But not like just flee with no.
Yeah, that's
strategy,
not. Then it's not the protocol. And I'm looking at this protocol. I think it's the same one, which is why I asked the name. And it says flee immediately from any and all active gunfire because you don't really have a prayer of stopping it. That seems to be what the point is that he's trying to make here. And yet, interestingly enough, you claim that the person who did not follow the protocol was the hero. You just make it the excuse for the person that did follow it, so he didn't do anything wrong because he followed it. Interestingly enough, your critics would say he should have been the one to jump in front of her instead of the opposition. And yet, you think for some reason the critics are wrong, even though you're praising her as the hero for doing the exact same thing.
She still fled, Andrew. I don't know how to make you understand this. That she may have jumped in between them, but that doesn't negate the fact that she fled after that.
Yeah, for how long though was she in front of him?
This
What
probably
made it?
happened over a span of
What made it
seconds.
heroic? What made it heroic? That's the question.
Because I think while Hunter was calculating what was going on in the situation, she
She acted.
well, yeah, and honestly, you should calculate, right?
She acted.
Yeah, she acted, but it doesn't like when people are in these situations, most people are not complete. They're not like built for these situations, right? We have to acknowledge that these are not police officers. These are not trained prison guards. These are not people.
Is she a trained police officer?
She's not. No, but
Yeah, but she
everybody's
acted.
sure. Everybody's going to act differently though in these cases,
Yeah, and
right?
he's gonna act like what? While she acts like what? He's gonna act like a pussy while she acts like a hero.
He was not a pussy though. He did exactly what he was supposed
Well,
to do.
then why is she the hero?
She I think anticipated already that this guy had it out for Hunter, and so she stepped in between them as a
Yeah.
barrier. But it doesn't mean she didn't run. She
That's
also
what
ran.
made her the hero, though.
She also
was that
ran,
she's,
though.
Yeah, I
It's
get that
not-
she ran, but what made her the hero in your estimation was that she stepped between the shooter and Avallone. That's
Yeah.
what made her the hero in your estimation.
Sure.
So, from the prism of his critics, when they say what makes him the coward is that she stepped between him and the shooter versus him stepping between the shooter and her. And by the way, my expectation, if you were in a similar situation, I know Beckett pretty well. I don't know if she's with the guy or not, but I would fully expect that he would probably want to be the one to step in front of you while you fled, right, Stardust?
So this is where it starts. This is the seeds being sown, okay? So this is going to be why Beckett calls in, all right? Is for this general disagreement. It's a slight change on this concept, but this is the disagreement: is how would Beckett behave? Would Beckett act like Hunter, or would Beckett put himself in danger over you?
It might happen that way. But at the same time, if this happened with you and Rachel, and it happened to be that Rachel stepped in front, I wouldn't think of you as a coward. Just because somebody does something heroic doesn't immediately make the other person a coward. That person was still doing what they were supposed to do.
He froze and he didn't act. She acted, and then he fled while she stayed behind.
No, you haven't missed the best part. We are far from the best part yet. We're far from the best part. You've got loads of time.
That's what the story. That's what the story says.
She ran as
was
well.
yelling. She ran after he was already fleeing. He was shouting, "Run!" Then she finally did. Okay, but she stepped in between Hunter Avallone and the shooter. That's what the story is reporting. That's
The
what he
story that
reported
I
himself.
have read, the one that I read, which was like the NY Post, which seemed the most.
Also, guys, now's a great time to remind you, please like, sub, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
comprehensive to me.
I think that's what everybody else is copying, by the way. It's the New York
Yeah,
Post.
Yeah.
Yep.
From what I can tell in that, it was just moments. This happened over like seconds, and basically, Hunter and Holly fled up the building as Conrad was unloading, right? So it was kind of happening simultaneously. Holly
You,
did step in between
guys
them.
kind of froze just a second there. Can you just repeat maybe the last 10
sure.
seconds?
So from what I can tell from the NY Post article, as Conrad is unloading his gun, that is when Hunter and Holly are both fleeing up the building. So yes, she did step in between them, but she still was fleeing with Hunter. So as he's unloading, and then it says that Holly, as Holly was also fleeing, she was struck with a ricocheting slug, and it just right outside her right kneecap, right?
Right. So before they fled, before either of them fled, there was Holly who was jumping in front of Hunter, with Hunter fleeing first. We can agree that that's true.
Maybe by seconds, maybe by like a second or two. Sure.
Yeah, all it takes is 1 second.
Yeah.
Can we agree that that's true?
I don't. Sure. Why not? I don't know I don't know the exact second by second, but sure, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So do you also agree that in situations like this, you only have seconds?
Yeah.
So in the split seconds of calculation in both their minds, Hunter Avallone is stun locked, can't move, can't even react. Whereas the woman, the younger woman, right, acts instead and places herself in between him and the shooter in those very few precious seconds. As Hunter begins to flee first. Now, you can see by the estimation of myself and most men who hear this, we consider this to be the utmost in cowardice.
I don't think that because she did a heroic action, that makes what he did cowardice.
Why didn't he do the heroic action?
Because he was still calculating what was going on, right?
Right.
Holly, on the other hand, has had
because he was afraid.
Wait. Let me finish, okay? Holly, on the other hand, has 11 years of experience with this Conrad guy, right?
Thank you for the $5 Australian, Rude Mod Crab. Thank you.
Or for anybody else, they probably are looking at the situation, not thinking that this is actually going to happen. But for Holly, for somebody who's been with this guy for 11 years, who knows his mental state, she probably is thinking in that moment and estimating that moment that she knows what he's capable of. So yeah, she stepped in front.
Then how is that heroic?
It's still heroic because
it can't be heroic if she knows he's not going to act, right?
No, not that he's not going to act.
So then she does think he's going to act. So that would be the thing that makes her. So even if she knew that and still thinks he's going to act, the thing that makes her the hero in your estimation is that she put herself and acted by placing herself between Avallone and the shooter. So then the point is irrelevant as to whether.
Rudimute Crab super chatted $3.28. E-beggars are my K. NK.
I never know when to talk. I never know when to talk. Okay. Thank you for the 5 gifted membership to Cypher Bomb Puzzle. Thank you. That's absolutely massive.
Or not, she knew him or didn't know
It was
him.
my
Otherwise, you'd have to
Windows
say,
as
this was
well.
a calculated move. There's no heroics about it.
No, calculated moves can still be heroic, right? Hunter probably was estimating whether he thinks that this, so Hunter was probably, what I'm trying to say is Hunter was probably estimating whether he thought that Conrad would actually do something like that, right? He is not the one who's been in the relationship with Conrad for 11 years. Holly is. Holly is the one who probably estimated he is capable of doing something like this and immediately moved to step between them, right? Hunter, on the other hand, didn't have that 11 years of experience with this guy. And even then, in this active shooter situation, they did the right thing. When they fled and they barricaded themselves and they locked the apartment door and then barricaded themselves on the porch, he still was aiding Holly. He was calling 911. He was following the instructions, trying to stop the flow of blood. And
because
I still think that
shot.
Yes, because she had been struck by a ricocheting, slug. And in that scenario, I think it's still something that a lot of other people would have failed in that situation.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he failed in that situation
I don't
because
think he did.
she interjected herself. Well, here's your logic. You say to me, listen, she knew the guy, right? And she thought because of this foreknowledge that he probably would do something. So what made her so heroic was that she stepped in between Hunter and this guy. But Hunter, who knows nothing about him, just sees a guy there with a gun in his hand looking to hurt them, does nothing. Right? This, from my perspective, again, puts Hunter in a much more compromising position than her. If he, just an average person who knows nothing about him, sees him armed and menacing at him and knows that this guy, he sure looks like he's about to hurt him, does not interject himself, put himself between him and the woman, what are we supposed to do except consider that to be the utmost of cowardice? Now, this wasn't even some random chick. If this was maybe just like some broad that he didn't even know, maybe I could even be a little more understanding about that. This was like his fucking girlfriend, though. And this was the ex. And he knew that this guy was likely there because he had been told by the manager of the complex they're in that somebody was lurking around. There wasn't anybody there to do any good towards Hunter, and they both knew it. So he sees this guy, he still doesn't interject himself. You call her the hero, right? But why are you criticizing his critics who say that it's cowardice that she had to throw herself in front of him instead of him in front of her?
Because I don't think what he did is cowardice. I think that most people in that situation would be estimating what they should do. And a lot of people wouldn't have even done the part where they fled, right? A lot of people in active shooter situations end up dying because they freeze on the spot and they don't do anything. Holly's action...
They run all the time in panic.
No, wait a minute. What I'm saying is people who die in those situations oftentimes are people...
Okay, so she's countering the argument that Hunter's a coward by saying, well, no, Holly's brave. Yeah. I don't think Andrew disagrees that Holly did something brave by stepping in front of the gun. I think Andrew's disagreeing with that. But he's still calling Hunter a pussy.
People who freeze, who don't know what to do. Now, Hunter, he may have frozen initially, but he still did the right thing. He fled. He told Holly to flee with him. When they got to the porch, he was treating her wound. These are still things that even I would not expect the average person to be able to handle, right? The average person, I would not expect them to be able to handle, profuse bleeding, somebody suffering from a gunshot wound. And so I think that in itself,
He wrapped a fucking sweatshirt around her leg. What are you talking about?
He followed police instructions. And
Yeah, oh my God,
returned
wow,
it.
let's get him a fucking medal. Holy shit, I can't believe
I'm
the fucking sweater. Wrap a leg with it. This is
Bro,
amazing. I can't imagine somebody could do something like that. What are
I'm
you
just
talking
saying,
about?
I don't think that's cowardice. I think that he's stuck there. He, like, a lot of dudes are, I'm sorry, way more cowardly and would have, fled and not
Yeah,
even thought about the girl.
Just because other men would have also reacted in a way which was
They would have
cowardly
reacted much
doesn't make
worse.
him less of a coward. It was very cowardly
Thank you for the gifted Outlaw 2. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
of Hunter to, after taunting this guy, right? He has no way to back up what his mouth says. No fucking way at all to do that. When the guy shows up,
Did someone just click on the Discord again?
for whatever his perceived lunatic retribution is to this shit talk, Hunter has no way to even protect the chick he's with. So he's talking shit to this guy. This chick is with him. He doesn't even have a way to protect her. And so when this guy comes looking for trouble, they end up in a confrontation. He moves to Operation Human Shield. The chick gets in front of him while he flees, even if it's only seconds before she flees, which I doubt. Okay, that's not the way the story makes it sound. Makes it sound like she threw herself in front to protect him, right?
Quite
And was trying to
literally.
reason with him while he was fleeing and running the other direction. And then she fled afterwards after him. It sounds like the perfect combination of cowardice. If this same situation happened to you, let me just ask you this honestly. I know you're gonna lie to me, but I want you to tell me anyway, right? Because you just progressives have to, especially progressive women. But if you were in that same situation and Beckett let you throw yourself in front of him while he ran, even if it was just a few seconds before you did, you tell me your ovaries wouldn't shrivel up and you wouldn't fucking go, God, Beckett, you're such a wuss. You wouldn't say that, honestly.
Oh no.
I am a feminist, so this is a complicated one, right? I don't think so. I don't think that would. I mean, I don't think I would be traumatized by the situation, absolutely. But I don't think that my ovaries would shrivel up, honestly.
And what do you think,
Yeah.
Beckett? What about Beckett? What does he say? Does Beckett?
I feel like it's kind of dishonest. I think most women would probably look upon their partner poorly for not, or husband or boyfriend or whatever, poorly for not stepping up and trying to, put themselves on the line in that situation. I think that's probably what would happen. I'm gonna be real.
Say, well, this chick should have thrown herself in front of Avallone. It was the right feminist thing. I doubt it, Stardust. He doesn't
Actually,
say that, does he?
I've talked to Beckett about the situation. He thinks that everybody freaking out about Hunter using Holly as a human shield is fucking crazy, right? Because he didn't use her as a human shield. Did he grab her and like literally put her in front of him?
Well,
No.
he didn't need to.
She
threw herself in front of him because he's such a wuss.
It's not.
He
it's
needed
not.
that.
It's not like he had any control of Holly stepping in front of him.
Let me ask
He
you another
didn't.
question. How come?
The thing is, Stella, you joke about the would you still love me if I was a worm thing, but that's literally the type of bitch Stardust is. You can just tell. You can just tell.
When the landlord called him and said that there was a creepy dude walking around with a suitcase, he didn't tell her to stay put while he checked everything out and made sure everything was okay.
That would have been
absent
smart.
I'm
her
not
being-
joking.
Yeah.
I've had the experience, but I've not had them get mad at me. Okay, it's obviously retarded.
Why didn't he do that? So, for instance,
Maybe Started just dating sub 100 IQ women. That's the issue.
when I've had a home invasion in the past where they murdered my dogs, my beagles, right? They killed them to break into my gun shop. They killed them both. And then it came in the house. I heard them coming in. I instructed my wife to stand behind her bed with the children, firearm in hand, while I went and confronted the intruders with, of course, a nice Remington 1300, my favorite. Well, I'm sorry, Winchester 1300, not my 870. So anyway, that's how that went. I didn't tell her to come fucking with me to check things out, right? I didn't need my whoopee there to help make sure I was okay. She was supposed to be the last line of defense. So you explain this to me, why it is that he was out with her looking for this guy to begin with.
We don't know the situation. We can say, like, hindsight is 2020. Obviously, like, it would have been wise for them to maybe not even go investigate that. Maybe call the police before investigating something like that. But I will tell you, if that were a situation that Beckett and I were in, there's no way I would be letting him go out by himself. Like, there's just no fucking way.
How do you get a say on let?
I mean, if he's leaving, I'm leaving too.
You say, bitch, sit down and shut your fucking mouth while I go take care of this. There's no let.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no stopping me. I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, it's
like
not.
This is. You can just see this. Oh man, once having not seen the rest of this debate and just watched from the call in, like now I'm seeing where the seeds are sown to where she gets so fucking upset later. Where she gets so fucking upset. Holy shit, this is gonna be so beautiful to watch. Keep this in mind, guys. Okay, yeah, like Bruce is saying, keep this in mind. She's saying no one's stopping me. Nobody could stop me from going with Beckett. I would be the one getting shot.
Happening.
It's so ridiculous. So you think that it's better right? It's better that he was like, let's go get shot together. That was the move, Stardust.
We don't know what the conversation was, and I don't know that. I'm not saying that it's better. I'm just saying from my perspective, I could certainly see myself insisting on going with my partner.
Yeah, but why, so you would insist on doing something stupid?
People do it all the time, right?
But you would insist on doing something stupid. You would insist on it. You just got done reading me what Cade says. Do you think that Cade would advise you to go on a manhunt for a lunatic who is lurking around with a briefcase together unarmed? Do you think that that's what your Navy SEAL friend would advise you to do?
No, he probably wouldn't. But
Probably
I
wouldn't.
probably wouldn't advise anybody to go out in that situation. I'd probably advise them to call 911 first before even doing anything like that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe, but let's say you call 911 and then you just want to go and have a peek and look around, see if you can find whoever this gentleman is. Or maybe you don't even know that it's that guy. Maybe they don't even know it's that guy. They just assume it, though they seem to have a good inkling that it was, right? So he says, I'm just going to go check this out. You stay here. Don't move. I'm just going to go check things out and see what this.
What do you think a plan of attack would be? Don't people like her typically just sort of like walk back and forwards on a platform until like a plumber jumps on their head and bursts them?
Guy who's lurking around with a briefcase is doing, right? That makes a lot more sense than going, well, let's you and I go have a nice picnic, and hopefully this bag man doesn't show up with a suitcase. You know what I mean?
There's power in numbers, and I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with whoever I'm seeing going out by themselves and doing that. Yeah.
Power in numbers. You're unarmed, right? Then what do you think your numerical superiority is to a guy who has a shotgun?
Right. If somebody gets shot, there needs to be. Well, no. Look, if somebody gets shot, it's important to have somebody else there who can like support that person and get them to safety.
Yeah, but if they're armed.
Yeah, I was gonna. There's no power in numbers when it's like two of you against a guy with a shotgun.
Right?
Yeah, two people bum rushing him. Yeah, okay. Okay, nice one, dipshit.
Sure.
That's it. That would be non-strategic thinking. That would be stupid. And plus, not only that, what physical force do you think that a female is going to offer up in comparison to the male? It's going to be very limited.
I'm not talking about bum rushing the guy.
I could also put you in a situation where you're taken hostage because you have limited strength and can't resist. That's like the stupidest thing I could imagine. But you would just insist that you would have to go too. Doesn't that seem like just kind of feminist She-Ra bullshit to you? Now that you think about it.
No, again, I'm not talking about bum rushing the guy, right? When I say that there's power in numbers, I'm saying if somebody gets injured, it's important that there's another person who can support that person getting them to safety. It's not about me taking on the gunman, right?
Yeah, you think that this chick could physically pick up, well, maybe she could pick up Hunter Avallone. But even then, I doubt it, right? What is she going to do? Is she going to drag him to safety? Is she going to hoist him over and run him on out?
Chill, take it easy. That's gross.
Out of there?
All it takes is somebody offering like support, right? If somebody can't walk properly, right? Like it's still important. It's still something that you can do.
Oh, I see. So he blasts Hunter and he's wobbling, and luckily she's going to offer a supporting shoulder so that they can walk very slowly away from this guy armed with a gun.
Well, they didn't walk away slowly, right? They both ran.
Yeah, but they would have if one of them was shot, right?
She was shot. One of them was shot, and she still ran.
No, but I'm saying in this case, you're offering up the liability, and your kind of counter example is, well, the best thing for us would actually be to go in pairs, because after all, then if one of you gets hit, the other one can give you a supporting arm to help you get on out of there. And it's like, okay, but if they're armed with a firearm, the whole point of that is so that you can clear distance quickly. Right?
Let me explore the scenario with you. Okay, so Hunter goes out by himself, right? Conrad's main goal is to shoot Hunter dead. So he goes out, he investigates by himself. Conrad shows up out of nowhere and shoots him dead. Then what?
Died a hero.
We're frozen again. Yeah, I'm sorry. Stardust, I'm sorry. I missed literally everything you just said. We froze up again.
Yeah, run it back.
Okay, what I'm saying is, if we look at it from that perspective, let's say Hunter goes out by himself. He decides to go investigate by himself. We know that Conrad's goal is to shoot Hunter and kill him. So he goes out. Conrad shows up out of nowhere, shoots him, and kills him. Then what?
What do you mean, then what?
Then what?
How is
that situation better?
Well, my assumption is that she's still in a barricaded situation unarmed, just like she already was.
Right, but now you've got two people ending up dead instead of one person.
How do you have two? She's still in the same exact situation that she was in.
Himself, right? So
no,
in this situation,
no, they're still in the same situation that they were in, which is a barricaded situation. She's in a better position. She's in a much better position.
She's in a better position, but we're sacrificing the life of Hunter for her, right?
Yeah, but if Hunter had done that, wouldn't you call him a hero?
I would have called him a hero, but I still don't think it's the smartest thing in the world to do.
So you would have still called him a hero.
It doesn't
right?
matter.
Why would he have been a hero?
Well, because it's like self-sacrifice, right?
Because he did something which was brave, which was the opposite of running the other fucking direction like a pussy.
So that conceding that like the stupid action like this would be brave is like, I feel like that's such a bad fucking idea for her argument. Like this is such a bad point to concede.
That's why I started.
Like, you should be like trying to what's the idea that there's no bravery and just dying for a stupid reason with no plan.
That's
right. That should be the sort of angle she's going for, right?
Just because somebody's a hero doesn't mean what they did was smart.
So was Hunter a hero in this situation too?
In this situation,
yeah.
I think Hunter did like what he was supposed to do.
Yeah, was he a hero?
I think that he was a great support to his girlfriend. I don't know, like I think Holly was the hero in this.
Right, but in the alternative situation where he tells her, he says, "Listen, you stay put. I'm going to go and grab my balls off the counter and put them on real quick and go confront this guy." Then he would call him the hero. So
It
what's
doesn't
changed
matter.
here?
It's
What's
still
the dynamic
stupid.
which has changed
It's
here?
still actually incredibly stupid because now we know that Conrad ends up shooting himself, but now instead of just Conrad shooting himself, we've got Hunter dead and Conrad shooting himself.
Yeah, but you're looking at that ad hoc. So you're saying we can look at this with hindsight, being 2020, and justify the things that were done after the fact because they may have worked out. But that doesn't mean that that was the wisest thing to do under the circumstances. And in this particular case, would have been a much wiser thing to do. And I think you would agree with me. Tell her to hunker down if he's going outside at all to figure out who this guy is or who's creeping around his complex.
I
At
don't
least
think
tell her to hunker down while he goes and confronts.
I
That's
actually
when,
don't think
that's when
it's
you
that
say
smart.
that's brave. That's the heroic thing.
I think
right?
it's
Not
brave,
the
but I
running
don't
away
think
thing.
it's smart. I think it's brave, but I don't think it's smart. I think that the smart thing to do is to have numbers on your side.
Why is that smart? If you're unarmed, what do numbers do for you? What does two do that one doesn't when the other person's
Two
armed and you're
targets
not?
versus two targets versus one target. I mean,
Yeah,
that
what-
makes more work for the person.
What are
for
shotguns
one.
famous for? What are they famous
Shooting?
for? They're famous for spread. Okay, the shot spreads out. So the more targets you have, the closer they are together, the more people you hit with a single shot.
Sure, but
That's
again,
why shotguns are the best thing in the world for home defense because
she
of this
may
reason.
have. Okay, she was struck by the ricocheting slug. We know that, but both of them still survived in this situation.
Yeah, but that was in spite of, not because of.
Right.
So
but
it
if
wasn't
he'd gone
because
by
they made
himself-
good decisions. It's in spite of the fact that they made bad decisions. What they should have done is not gone out at all. Called the police, hunkered in, because they really didn't have any other option being unarmed, but maybe he could have found some kind of melee weapon or of some type to at least take a crack at defending himself. I don't know exactly how that would have worked out, but all of that would have been wiser than going with her to try to confront a creepy suitcase man. Your manager calls and says it's creeping around your house with a suitcase in hand. What do you think's in the suitcase? Would that give you an inkling that there might be something in the suitcase that you probably don't want to see?
I think most people in this situation are not expecting a random person to show up again with a gun to their place. I think the smartest thing to do, I'll agree with you, the smartest thing to do would be both of them to hunker down. The second smartest thing to do after that is for both of them to go out. I don't think one person
Let's say that
staying
the guy
in.
had shown up with a bat instead of a gun.
Okay.
I have a bat right next to my door, by the way. By the way, did you drop out?
Yeah, I don't know why that
did.
keeps happening, but
It's okay.
Isn't Ralph is so retarded? Aren't you like not meant to? When your biggest concern is probably someone from the internet coming and fucking with you, why would you say on your show the location of a weapon in your home? I have a bat next to my door. Why would you say that? Why would you say?
in any case, what if the guy had shown up with a bat instead, Stardust? What if he showed up with a baseball bat? And in that case,
Uh-oh. I think that might be your connect. Mine's
I think
okay.
it's, yeah, I think Andrew's connection might be going out.
All right, let's see. Oh, wait, you stalled out. I think it's your internet.
yeah, I
just
don't
skipped
know. I
over.
don't know what's going on.
But it's okay. You're back now. Just repeat it because we didn't get all that. I
Yeah,
was just saying I have a bat right next to my door, by the way.
Yeah. Why? What if he showed up?
Why
what if
would
he
you
showed
say
up with a fucking bat?
So what? The smartest thing would still be for both of them
To do
be
the exact same
hunker-
thing, right?
to hunker down, yeah.
Yeah,
But
to
then
do the exact same thing.
the second smartest thing would be both of them going out together.
No, that still wouldn't be smart. Even if the guy just had a bat, still wouldn't be smart. Would not have given them any advantage to have two females confront this guy, right?
Very funny. No, I think that if there's going to be if you're going to go investigate, I think you should investigate in numbers.
Yeah, but do you think that this is a Jason Voorhees movie? That like if there's more than one of you, the machete wielder only gets one at a time,
Well,
or
it's,
what?
well, it's certainly not a John Wick movie, right?
I didn't say it was a John Wick movie. Do you think that the tens of thousands of people who successfully use firearms for self-defense every single year, many of them with almost no training, are John Wicks?
No, but again, I don't think that what Hunter did was wrong. I think he followed protocol. He followed what basically every website that's talked about active shooter situations talks about. The FBI itself talks about this, that fighting is the very last case scenario, like last
Well, then
resort.
she went against the protocol, and so you shouldn't call her a hero. You should call her an idiot, right?
Well, I think heroes often are people who do unwise things,
Right.
right?
So they go against the protocol. So what would have really been heroic of Hunter to do was go against the protocol that you suggest that he follows. That's what would have made him the hero, because that's what makes his chick the hero. So
I still
your
think
argument
that
is
both of
moot,
them-
and it makes no sense.
No, I still think that both of them should have followed the protocol.
But she's a hero.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's a hero for not following the protocol.
For being delayed in it, sure, but
yeah, for not
you know,
following it.
she still followed it.
No,
she
well,
was
she
just
didn't.
delayed.
She didn't. She actually did the opposite of it. She confronted
She did
the
not
shooter.
confront him.
Yeah,
She did
well,
not
that's it.
confront him.
Yes, she did confront him. She threw
did
herself
not.
in front of Hunter like this in front of the shooter. That's confrontation. Yes.
We don't know if it was like this.
What do you
We-
think? What do you think a confrontation is? Do you think a confrontation when another person has a gun that you have to physically assault them? What do you think confrontation means in this sense?
Bro, I'm sorry, my boyfriend better be fucking protecting me. Are you kidding? After 1 month? Are you joking? Are you joking? You insane? For 1 month? Insane. No, that is a human shield, okay?
The confrontation is like engaging with the person.
That's
Her
right,
stepping
and-
in between them is not necessarily confrontation.
Well, I
right?
mean,
she still fled.
She steps
She still
between.
fled.
She steps between him and Avallone.
Did
right?
the two of them
And
flee
she's
or
facing,
not?
she's facing the shooter. That looks like confrontation.
Okay, answer me this: did the two of them flee or not?
She eventually did flee. Yes.
Okay, the three steps in this, or the three options that they say
was.
are: you can flee, you can hide, or you can fight. She did not fight. She did not hide. She fled with Hunter. She just
Nope, she
stepped
didn't.
in between.
Hunter fled. She didn't flee, and that's
Okay,
what
she
makes her the
didn't-
hero.
She didn't fight, right? Fighting is what I think of when we talk about confrontation.
Yeah, right. She acted as a human shield.
She did not act as a human shield.
Yes, she did. She put herself in the position to act as a shield, a barrier between the shooter and Hunter Avallone.
Okay, then
That's a
that's
human
different.
shield.
That's still different than him using her as a human shield, right?
Yeah, that's well. I mean, that's tongue in cheek, right?
It's
But
not
what I'm
really. The
saying,
distinction is pretty
is
important.
that she was a human shield. She acted as a human shield. That's why you think she's brave. That's why you think she's great. That's why you think she's awesome. Hunter fled. He ran. That was his
Hunter
first
did what he was
Okay,
inclination.
supposed to
sure.
do.
After 8 years, that's a different deal. But in this situation, no, no shot. Like Hunter didn't throw her out enough. Okay, to be honest, Hunter should have been walking up to the door with his hands on her shoulders from behind. You know, just poking her out.
Was to run and then yell to her to run too. So that means he ran first and knew that she wasn't running. So he knew what she was doing because he was yelling to her to run. And he'd already taken off. That's exactly my estimation of what a coward would do. That's what the story says and what he said himself. In his own tweets, he said, as I was running, I shouted for her to run.
Did BPF see the meme? I've got no idea.
What the story says is, let me read it for you again since we're having trouble. Let me see here. The couple fled into their building just as Carricker unloaded around through the glass door. Holly was struck with the ricocheting slug just outside her right kneecap. So again, it's not how you're saying. As they're fleeing up into the building, that is when Conrad is unloading around. And the bullet that ends up striking Holly is a ricocheting slug.
And
And
how is this making what I'm saying any less?
It's not even a human shield situation at that point because it's a ricocheting slug.
Hunter's own tweets confirm that he ran first. He didn't even know what was happening. She already threw. She couldn't rationalize it. Okay. She threw herself in front of him, and then he began to run and shouted to her to run. So he'd already started running when he started to shout to her that she needed to start running. So her inclination is to protect Avallone, put herself between herself or Avallone and the shooter while Avallone runs away. This is definitively what a coward would do.
A human shield would be if he literally was shooting at Hunter and that bullet went into Holly instead. That is not what happened. The slug that struck her was again ricocheting, right?
Because he was shooting at Hunter.
Right, but it seems like it wouldn't have changed whether she was stepping in between them or not. Because it was a ricocheting slug.
Yeah, but again, that's an ad hoc justification.
It doesn't matter.
What you're trying to do is say from an ad hoc perspective,
as a human shield.
Well, you're just saying because circumstances worked out this way, that means that the behavior should have been that. And what I'm saying is the opposite. Even if you can look at it from an ad hoc position and say, well, this happened to work out, right? It doesn't mean that this was not cowardly behavior. It's most certainly cowardly behavior when the woman inserts herself between you and the shooter and knows that the shooter might do something, is why she's doing it, has no faith that you will. You run and then start shouting, run. The only thing Hunter did in this entire engagement was urinate on himself on his back porch and use the biggest bitch voice you ever heard to go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and then wrap his sweatshirt at the behest of the 911 operator. He didn't even think of that himself, around her leg haphazardly to the point where she had to take it off and continue to stem the blood flow herself. There was nothing he did in this situation which was wise or in any way heroic or even good. He not only didn't tell her to hunker down, took her with him. Then when the engagement started, she had to confront him. He took off. And then even when they were hunkered down on the back porch, she's the one looking through the slider while he's peering over the opposite side. So she's still looking for the point of entry where they would be in the most danger, while he's still off to the side trying to peek around the corner. There's nothing this guy did which was anything less than cowardly.
So they kind of broke up last night, but then salvaged it in the DMs. So we're going to watch all of it. We're going to watch it play out. It literally plays out live on stream. Like, it's nuts.
Infactual. This is completely unfactual.
Tell me where I'm wrong.
You are wrong because one, Holly doing something brave does not make what Hunter did cowardly. Don't take away from what she did by disparaging Hunter in the situation. She was still brave in the situation, and that doesn't change the fact that Hunter followed what the protocol was. Now, Holly and Hunter fleeing, like let's say it's reversed. If Hunter,
yeah, they're back. They've salvaged it for now. Yeah, Stardust has said some weird shit on stream recently about that relationship. What was it? I think DK reminded me of something that I said on stream the other day. Let me just find the quote. Yeah, so I pointed out when we were watching Stardust the other night, I said, I was like, I don't know if I'm being like, if I'm reading too much into it, if I'm being, having an empath moment here, but I feel like Stardust is hinting towards something being wrong in their relationship. And basically what it was she said, Beckett and I, pauses for like 5 seconds. We don't agree on everything. She was like that. So for that to have happened like 2 days ago, and then this happens, it's like, okay, this is on the rocks, isn't it? There's something going on here.
Stepped in front of Holly, and then Holly was the first one to flee.
Guys.
Would you be calling
Save
Holly
Beckett.
a fucking coward?
No, I'd be calling her a woman.
No, what's the difference? Why?
I'd be calling her a woman.
Why?
Because nobody has any reasonable expectation that a female is going to do an act of selflessness like that.
If you care about somebody, you certainly are going to do an act of selfishness. Secondly, Hunter.
Nobody has the expectation that women are going to sacrifice themselves.
Women have that
for men.
expectation for themselves when they love somebody.
No, they don't.
Have that. They do. They have that expectation for themselves.
Nope.
Do not take away the bravery that Holly displayed that day to just say that. Hunter
I don't think it was
a
even
coward.
brave. I think that what it was she thought that she could just talk him down or some shit like that. I don't even think that she was doing anything which was self-sacrificing. I think that Hunter did what was within his nature to do. Without realizing what was going on in the situation, he ran like a bitch. While she thought she could talk the guy down. And apparently
when a Navy Navy SEAL
correctly
says
because-
that's what you're supposed to do. You're not running like a bitch. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, so for the act of self-preservation, but not for the act of doing the right thing or heroism.
It is the right thing.
What makes it right? What makes it the
what,
why do you
would you
consider it
want?
the
Or would you
heroic
have been
thing then?
happier if Hunter stayed and fucking died with the
No,
guy?
I would have been happier to see if Hunter put himself between the weak people in danger rather than the weak people putting themselves between Hunter and danger.
Okay, Hunter putting himself. We know that Conrad was there to specifically kill him.
Ad hoc.
The only way.
This is ad hoc.
Wait, no, we know it. We do know it.
Yeah, we know
Like,
it ad hoc though. They didn't know it.
when all of the threats were about Hunter, yes.
Yeah, but they didn't know what this guy would have done to her or to him. They didn't know any of that.
I think that, like, if Hunter had stayed, he would have been dead. Like, to be honest with you, I think he would have been dead. And I think that, I think it's remarkable in a situation where there is one guy with a gun and two people who are unarmed. It's the two unarmed people who ended up making it out alive. So to me, I think what they did was the right thing. They both came out on the other end. They both survived. Hunter was not a coward for doing what he was supposed to do because even Connor has written a whole thing about this, and I can read it to you.
Let me ask you this real quick. If it was a child that Hunter was with and the child had thrown itself, let's say a 12-year-old had thrown herself between Hunter and the shooter, would Hunter be doing the right thing by fleeing then?
No, obviously not, because
Why?
a child can't make those calculations, right? A child is incapable of making those calculations, and plus you're meant to protect children, right?
Yeah, because they're weaker than you.
I think adults make their own decisions all the
The
time.
child thought that, hey, I think that the best thing I can do because my dad's a wuss is to jump between my dad and the gunman. Do you think that would be okay in that sense, or do you think maybe Hunter would have shown some backbone then?
I'm sure Hunter would have stepped between him and the child, right? If that were the situation. But like
Why
when
do
we're
you
talking
think that?
about
Why is there any thought that
if
would
it's
be
his
the case?
kid, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
if
but I
it's
mean,
his kid.
weaker is weaker, regardless of age. So the thing is that obviously this chick is weaker than Avallone, and yet she's the one who steps in front. If it's a child and the roles reversed, then you say, no, wait a second. The right thing in that case to do would not be to flee, but to put yourself between the child and the
You
gunman.
would still flee with the child, but you would make sure that you're in between the child and the gunman.
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, I think that that's right, and I think that if you're a man, you would do that for a woman too, wouldn't you?
I mean, if like again, it's not like he could control Holly in that situation. She made that choice herself.
Yeah, but he couldn't control a child in that situation. At that point, the
You
best
can't
thing
control a child. A child is very different from a
if the
full-grown
child
woman.
jumps in front, just like Holly did, right, and you yell run, and the child doesn't run, right?
You
It's the
would
same
pick up the child
situation.
at that point,
What's
right?
that?
You would pick
What?
up the child at that point.
Pick them up. What if they're a distance away? What if they're 4 feet away from you? You
Well,
say run.
we know that they weren't a distance away.
Well, they were at least a few feet away from each other. Yeah.
Wait, again, so I think that it's a completely different situation when it is a child. The child is often
Weaker.
going. Well, they're weaker, yeah, but
Yeah.
also they don't have the capacity to think all these things through. They don't know the consequences of their actions. You still want to protect
You
that
think
child.
that young girl knew the consequences of her actions? I doubt it.
I think she knew more than a child would.
How do you know that? Just assume
Because-
it. She's a young dumb girl too. Young and stupid. Doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
Children and full-grown women are very different.
Well, I don't know. Stardust, honestly, the thing is, just like there's an order of operations here, right? Here's the order of operations. Adult males, they usually go down with the ship. That's like the part of the duty, right?
Well, yeah,
That's why we
because-
get the big piece of chicken. That's why we get to, put our feet up on the nice big part of the couch and, we get the comfy chair because we're expected to go and confront those midnight noises and we're expected to go down with the ship. That's why we get treated like fucking kings. Is so when situations like this happen,
Andrew is so based. The men get the big comfy chair. It's so based. It's so fucking based. What the fuck? Everything he does is just such a power move. I'm sorry. I just love this guy.
the chicken live, right? And you usually don't. That's the way that works. That's the order of operations, isn't it?
Like I guess in the old way of thinking, sure.
In all ways of thinking. I mean, wouldn't you prefer to have a man who did that to the alternative?
I mean, obviously, you would always want somebody who's willing to
Right.
throw themselves down for you, but I don't
Right.
think what Hunter did in this situation is wrong. Like I think he
Yeah, because you're
was still
using.
calculating. Wait, he was still calculating the situation, right?
No,
Like,
it's ad hoc. Not only is it ad hoc justification, meaning it's necessary for you to justify it, but it's also post hoc rationalization. So you're
But
just like after the fact, you're rationalizing it, and then you're giving what's necessary to the conditions for why it would be good. When if you were to envision this scenario outside of the fact this happened to work, it didn't work out great, but it just happened to work out.
I've seen bits and pieces of TikTok Invasion. I haven't really watched the full stream of it though.
Where the only one who ended up expiring was the bad guy. You can kind of give it some kind of justification. But even if you were envisioning the scenario, you would say Hunter would throw himself in front of the chick. She would run. Yeah, it was a bad fucking day for everybody, but that's how you would consider it to go inside your own head, isn't it?
Not necessarily. Like, if I'm being honest with you, like, I think that, both of them made that decision. I think in a situation like that, it's very hard for people to really function in that situation. I think that they both functioned in the best way that they could. Was it like optimal? Like, obviously not.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
would
got a set of balls,
it would have
that's
been. It would have been nice if he had a firearm, right? But he didn't. The fact of the situation is that he didn't have a firearm. The fact of the situation is
Well, he
that
should have had one.
well, he didn't. He
Well,
didn't
you
have
got one.
Okay, but he
Or
didn't.
he talks shit to lunatics on the internet. You might want to arm yourself
How
up.
many people talk shit to lunatics on the internet and
The
are
unarmed
armed?
ones, I don't know. Destiny's armed, Vosh is armed. Every major streamer that I'm aware of is armed to the fucking teeth because they talk shit about lunatics.
Unless
on
you're a
the internet.
felon, and then you can't.
Then you
But,
can't. But generally speaking, most people I
Poor Ralph. Poor Ralph.
know of who are on the internet who deal inside this space are armed to the fucking teeth for just such an occasion.
Okay.
Because as you know, this is not the type of industry to be in where tons of healthy, well-adjusted people exist who want the best for you, Stardust.
Yeah, no, okay, I agree with you on that, right? But even if he were armed, he still was in that situation. We don't know if he was armed, right? But in that situation, he did not have the arm on him, right? And
Well,
so
then that would be doubly stupid. Could you
Right.
imagine going out
But there
to,
are going to be
go
plenty
around
of
and confront with your
situations.
chick and leave your gun at home?
Okay,
That's
but
not
there are going to be plenty of situations where people might have a firearm at home, but they don't necessarily have it on them when the confrontation is happening. We
Yeah,
have
but
to
if-
like kind of give we have to give leeway to people when these things happen because
Sure,
all of
but-
these situations are constantly changing and you don't know what the situation is going to be.
Help
You
me out
can't predict
here.
these things.
Help me out here. let's assume for a second, you and Beckett were having a quiet night at home watching Grey's Anatomy or whatever boring shit you watch, and you get a call from your manager, and your manager of your apartment complex like, hey, there's a weird guy walking around with a fucking suitcase, and he's looking for you. And I've never seen him around. He's really creepy, and I think there's something wrong with him. And you go, I'm going to call the police. Do you think that Beckett, if there was a gun in the house and he decided he was going to go check things out, that he would be like, well, I'm going to leave the gun, and I'm just going to go out there with just my bare fist and see what this weirdo with a suitcase wants? I mean, does that even make sense to you, Stardust, honestly?
No, I mean, like,
No.
you know, obviously not. No, but again, this is, you know, the situation is what it is. We can, this is again, like, you can do the whole, like, hindsight thing and be like, oh, well, he should have had a gun. Yeah, maybe he should have. But the situation that they were in at that moment is one where they did not have one. So give an actual solution in that situation,
Okay.
and try to be generous with both parties when they are dealing with a situation where they're both unarmed.
Yeah, but this is always the case when people make horrible and self-destructive decisions over and over and over. They put themselves in the situation to where something like this can happen, and then they cry foul. Now, the thing is there any justification ever for this guy to have shown up
Andrew's TikTok screen name is Big Popper Fashion. Okay.
and do this to anybody? Of course not. Nobody watching this, nobody talking about this believes that that's in any way, shape, or form acceptable. But we still also need to recognize that this is a great case in point example of fuck around and find out. The worst thing you can do is talk shit to lunatics on the internet, especially if you're banging their ex-girlfriend and they're unhinged and she says that they're abusive. Why would you taunt a person like that? Put yourself in the situation where you'd even have to use the gun. You know what I mean? Like, all of these are just terrible decision after terrible decision, and it seems like you're just totally unwilling to call this guy out on that.
No, look, Andrew, I've agreed with you multiple times that obviously, if it's true that they were antagonizing him, that was a clearly very stupid thing to do. I've also agreed with you it would have been better for them to have a firearm, right? But I'm just looking at the actual situation as it is, and in the actual situation, they did not have a firearm. They were unarmed, and they did what they did, and they followed protocol, and and Holly stepped in front. But at the end of the day, they both still came out. They came out alive, and I don't know that there's much more to say there.
Well,
I don't
first of
think he
all,
was cowardly.
When you say protocol, I've granted it, right? I just granted it because you want to use this guy's expertise, and I didn't see any harm in granting it for the purpose of arguing with it, right? But just because a person is a Navy SEAL and claims that this is what you should do, doesn't mean that that's what you should do. Just
Well,
so
the
you know,
FBI
that's
says
one.
the same thing,
right?
right? The FBI
And
says
two,
the same thing.
yeah. So what? They, you know what they most often do is they try to cover their own ass. So they're going to give you the advice that puts them in the least amount of liability possible. But the reason that you claim that what this chick did was heroic is because she actually didn't follow that advice, and she went above and beyond and put herself between a person who was armed and a person who was not. And so that's something that people like us can look at and say it's very honorable. That's something that's worthy of praise. And that's why if Hunter had done that, that's what he would be getting, honor and praise. But instead, what we do, especially as men, we're really hard on each other. We should be, because that's what keeps us on the straight and narrow. And when we see men who instead allow women or children to act as shields for them, instead of them acting as a shield, we're pretty hard on them. We think that that's cowardice. We're going to call it out. We're going to talk some shit, and they fucking deserve it. And that's the way it works. And that's the way it's always going to work. And trust me, your ovaries wouldn't have it any other way.
I still don't think just because
Jesus
Holly did
Christ.
something heroic, that means that what Hunter did was cowardly. I don't think that just because, she did something that you think he should have done, that automatically he's cowardly. Because I think there are plenty of people who would not have functioned well in that situation, who would have done much
Including
worse.
Hunter. Yeah, Hunter didn't function well in that situation.
No,
He ran,
I'm saying that
and he
there
went
were
on his back deck and he cried and he
people
whined
should
in
run
his
in that
whiniest
situation.
voice. And when the police told him to give up the sweater, he gave up the sweater and haphazardly tore, tied it around her leg, and it ended up falling off, and she was treating her own wound. She was also looking through the main entry, through that slider. You can see it in the video. She's right up against the slider looking for this guy to enter while Hunter's behind a barricaded position. He acted as a coward the entire time. It wasn't even just the beginning action. It was the entire action.
I don't think so. I just disagree with you.
Okay.
I think a cowardly action would have been for him to run and not even care about Holly, for him to not even care about treating her, for him to have shut the door behind him.
Well, that would have been the most cowardly action, just because he did something that was slightly less cowardly than the absolute worst thing he could have did. Like that.
And not have her come in with him. There are plenty of ways that he could have been cowardly, and none of the things that I would see as cowardly are things that he did.
Well, let me help you out here, or ask you at least this question. Do you think that a wall with plaster and 2x4s and maybe some drywall is better covered than a sliding glass window?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Which thing was Hunter behind in the video, and which thing was Holly behind in the video?
Well, apparently, according to you, and I don't recall the video, but what you're saying is that he was behind the drywall and the plaster, right?
Mhm.
And she was in front of the glass door. But we also
Yeah.
don't know if she was in front of that the entire time, right?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We have no reason to assume the other, what he claimed.
Oh, okay, so we've got 30 minutes left on the video. We've got to power through. 30 minutes left, and then Beckett comes in, and we're going to swap over to Beckett's VOD, because we get to see how Beckett acts after the call-in ends. It's very fucking funny.
Claims,
We have
at
a
least
minute
in
of
his,
video.
what he claimed, and in the minute of video, she was in front of the slider the entire time. What he claims in both the story and in his tweets and in the follow-up video was that he was on the right side of his deck, peering over the deck systematically to check for the shooter, while she was placing herself in front of this slider to look out for the shooter. Which position would you have preferred to have been in?
I don't know. I think they're both pretty dangerous positions.
Yeah, which
he's
one,
still
if you had to
outside,
choose between the at least some cover or no fucking cover, which one would you choose?
I think, I honestly, okay, so I don't know that much about that situation, right? But I think that given that he probably has a better way to access them from the outside, I actually do think that Hunter would probably be in more of danger there, right? Especially if he decided to turn, if he decided to turn around and go back outside, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so the shooter's pursuing,
Mhm.
right? Pursuing you. You run into your home. You
Yes.
barricade yourself on the back porch. Where did the shooter see you enter?
They saw you from the front, but that doesn't mean they won't walk around
So
the
they
back.
saw you from the front. They probably would enter from the front. At least that would stand to reasoning. Would you put yourself in front of the sliding glass door in that situation, or would you prefer to be behind the 2x4s and the plaster?
I mean, Yeah, if he doesn't come around the back, then yeah, you would want to be behind the plaster, sure. But there's still a chance that he can come around the back, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there
why
is. And there's
wouldn't
also
he?
a chance that they can both get down if he comes around the back, right? They can both get down if he does that. You're still in no worse situation, but you're in the
I don't
worst
know about that.
situation. You're in the worst situation if you, yeah, well, you have, if you look at the video, there's barricades all around the outside of the deck, right? A little bit of a wall, raised wall, which is very common on back decks, especially apartment buildings. So if they're in the back, the guy comes around, they can both duck down, and they both have at least some barrier there.
Couldn't
However,
Holly
if he comes
easily
through the
just
front
duck out
door,
of the way?
if he comes in the front door, they both could. But if he comes in the front door, right? Because their vision, that's the hiding portion of what the cage strategy is. The second they duck out of sight, he can't see them from their elevated position to his non-elevated position. So now they duck down, right? This guy's he's shooting blind no matter what. However, if he comes in through the front door and she's in front of the slider, is he shooting blind?
No, but again,
No.
he was there to shoot Hunter and kill Hunter specifically. He
Well, who
wasn't there
took the
to.
bullet? It didn't
Yeah,
seem to stop
Holly-
that from happening.
No, Holly took the bullet, and then upon finding out that she had taken a bullet, Conrad ended up shooting himself in the head because he felt so bad about it. Like,
Yeah,
he
but
didn't-
that has no
he
bearing
was
on.
messaging her that he didn't want that to happen.
Okay,
And so-
that's not even a fair representation from Stardust, is it? That's fucking bullshit. You can say it like that he would not have killed himself if he wasn't surrounded by police, right? This is typical. That's usually when you see someone kill themselves, right? When they're in a situation like this, is when they're surrounded. It wasn't that he received the photo of her shot in the leg and then he killed himself. It was he's still there, and also he's surrounded by police. He's got no way out. Right? You're saying right like Vivian Wolf. Okay. Listen, I'm trying to sort out filler words, okay? We're trying to get that right.
No,
more
it's not
post
post
hoc.
hoc because in the situation they were texting and she said, "I'm losing a lot of blood. I need you to surrender." And he said that he didn't mean for that to happen and he wanted to shoot Hunter and kill Hunter.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, in that
But
situation,
they had no idea if he was coming through the front door or if he was going to be coming around from the rear entry.
sure.
But if you were logicking this out yourself, right? Wouldn't you? If you were running through your front door to the
He tried to fight his way out. He tried to fire with the cops. Oh yeah, he did wound a cop, didn't he? So wait, did he die to police gunfire or did he die to his own gunfire?
back to the barricaded back deck, right? And you put all the barriers between you, which would include your front door, your slider door, and then you have your external barrier. Okay. If you put yourself, where would you want to put yourself? In front of the slider or in front of the cover? You tell me.
If I know that the shooter is trying to specifically kill my partner,
Well,
not
she didn't
me,
know that then.
She knew it by the time they were on the porch.
They didn't know. She didn't know.
They
She
were
had a bullet.
exchanging
She had a
text
bullet in her leg by the time they were on the
Yes,
porch.
they were
have no
exchanging
idea.
text messages. They were exchanging text messages.
You
on
still
the
don't know what he's
porch.
going to do. You still didn't know what he was going to do.
He explicitly said that he did not mean for that to happen to Holly.
So what? That doesn't mean that he still wouldn't come through the front door and finish the job, regardless of what he says. There's no way to know what he's going to do.
Yeah, but he ended up shooting himself in the head. Then.
That's post hoc rationalization.
Right, but
At the time, they have no way to determine for sure that he's
I miss Conrad more every day.
not going to come in
So
and finish
fucked
the
up.
She
job.
had
They
a
have no way.
suspicion that he wanted to kill Hunter specifically.
That's nice. She has no idea that that's how he's going to act. And Hunter Avallone also has no idea that that's how he's going to act.
They have-
All he
they
knows
have
at
a
that
pretty
point
good
is
idea
that this
of
chick has a bullet in her leg and she's in front of the slider and he's in front of the cover. That's what the video shows very clearly.
Sure, but again, they have the history of Conrad threatening to kill Hunter. Days before that, like after she found out the air tags, he threatened to kill Hunter. Right.
Mhm.
So yes, they do have the information to be like, you know what, this guy is probably here to kill Hunter specifically.
Yeah, but
so
you don't know that he's
if
going
my
to not kill her too.
If my partner, if I suspected that the gunman was trying to kill specifically my partner, yes, I would want my partner to be hidden.
Yeah, but your partner who doesn't know this, and you who don't know for sure what this guy's capable of, you can't, right? It's not possible for you to understand his motivations, even if you have whatever this inkling is. Avallone could easily, while he's on the phone with 911, move her over to the covered position, treated her wound, and put himself in front of the slider where there's easy access to get him. Instead, you can clearly see in the video, he does everything he can to keep himself out of the way of that slider where he thinks the intruder's going to come next. And how do you think, I mean, I can't even perceive how you can imagine that's not complete total cowardice.
I don't think it's cowardice because I think the dude was there to specifically kill Hunter, and I think Holly knew that.
No, she couldn't know it. She could suspect it, but he certainly can't know it at that point. And so still, from his perspective at the time, without using any type of justification after the fact, you would think that he would move her towards the covered position, put himself in the position where the slider is. So it's multiple times acting like fucking cowards.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that she would even agree to that?
How could he stop her? She has a bullet hole in her fucking leg, and he's a male. What's she gonna do? Fight him off?
So
when he
what?
moves
Yeah,
over?
she can. She can.
Oh,
She
come
can
on, it's fucking
refuse.
crazy.
She
What?
can absolutely refuse.
What? No, probably not. Even Hunter can probably restrain a woman of around his size. Even Hunter, it's not particularly hard with most women.
And he goes, I don't give a shit. Moves her over anyway. So what?
I mean, again,
If
you're saying that we
if you were
can't
wounded,
know.
if
We
a
do
shooter hit
know.
you, we were at a concert or something, a shooter hit you, and I grabbed you, and I'm like, I'm carrying you out of here, and you were like, no, don't. And I was like, shut the fuck, I'm doing it anyway, right? Are you really gonna make the case that like I didn't consent to that? Is that really the case you're gonna make?
No, but I think that in that situation, she's still standing. She still was well enough to run there, right? Even if she's bleeding.
She was terrified and petrified. And the second that guy took charge and said, listen, you come over here, you sit down right here, kneel down here, and here, I'm gonna wrap your leg, all that shit she would have done, whatever was necessary to the point she had a bullet hole in her leg. I don't even think that you would dispute that. You're trying to say that, well, she would say no and fight him off with a bullet. Come on, it's ridiculous.
I'm just saying that she would probably protest pretty heavily to that, or at least I would.
Oh,
If
well,
I
too,
thought,
too bad.
If,
Yeah,
I,
thanks for
if,
your
I
protest.
thought, if I thought that this person was specifically coming there to kill my partner,
I'm going to imagine these 4% are probably people who are seriously dysgenic, like, you know, like dwarves, Down syndromes. You know, these types of people, right? It's not hard to kill women with your bare hands, trust me. Bro. Movie theater employees. Oh, that's a good one.
partner and not kill me, and it's been confirmed through text message, then yeah, I would have a huge issue with that. I wouldn't be okay with it.
Yeah, you could screech, but I mean, you know, and then get moved, and there's nothing
So
you
is
can
he
do
just
about
supposed to? Is he just supposed to like be okay with like dying then?
Well, no, it's not that you're okay with dying. That's not the point of what we're talking about. Neither of them are okay with dying.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're talking about, though, is in the stead, which one of them would we count on for making the brave decisions versus which one we wouldn't? In this case, the chick made all of the brave decisions, stood her ground, and made an even more brave decision, even after the fact with a bullet in her leg, still stood in the most dangerous position, while Hunter hid in the only cover position that he could. Pure cowardice across the board. He didn't even, you're trying to say, well, but Andrew, she would have said, no, Hunter, I want to stay in front of the glass door where the deranged gunman's going to come in. Okay, and he goes, I don't give a shit what you want, and moves her off to the side, right?
But again, it has they have good reason enough to suspect that he is there to only kill Hunter. They have reason enough. No, they do, because when they found the
air goes out
tags,
the door the second a bullet hits her leg.
No, when the bullet hit her leg, the ricocheting slug, it was ricocheting. That's why it hit her leg.
Yeah, and how often do abusers say things to women like, oh, honey, it'll never happen again. I'll never hit you again. I'm not here. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to do this to you. They lie, right? Isn't that what abusers do?
Sure, they do.
And so we're supposed to assume, though, that this guy was just giving an honest account.
Because he was repeatedly saying over several days, and even over several months, that
yeah,
he
he's an
wanted to kill
abuser. You're not
Hunter.
supposed to believe him, right?
He wanted to kill Hunter.
Yeah, but he's an abuser, and abusers will often say things, if they're abusive, that aren't true in order to continue to abuse you, right?
Sure, but
yeah, so there's no actual reason to believe that she was out of danger.
When he shows up with a gun,
and she gets shot.
And well, the reason the injury that she sustained is because of a ricocheting slug, right?
Yeah, okay, but she got shot. They don't know that it's a ricochet. They don't know any of that. There's no way for them to determine exactly what happened. They just know she has a bullet in her leg. This guy says, well, I'm not here for you, though, right? But abusers lie. There's no reason for them to actually believe that this guy's telling them the truth while this chick is seeping blood out of her fucking leg. That's insane.
She'd been with him for 11 years. I think after 11 years, I think she probably knew him well enough to know that he was serious when he shows up with a gun to kill Hunter.
Well, and how many times did she get shot in those 13 years or 11 years she was with him?
Well, because he didn't own a gun before that.
Right. So, okay, so he had a gun. He shows up. She gets shot, right? And then what happens is you have this kind of post hoc rationalization and say, well, because we've determined that things, they didn't work out the best, but they did at least work out where the two people whose lives we don't want to be lost didn't get lost. So the guy who, you know, is the lunatic who showed up, his life did. Therefore, everybody acted correctly is absurd. What we see here clearly is that she not only throws herself between Hunter and this guy, but then does it a second time. And Hunter reacts with pure cowardice the entire time. And your only defense to this is, well, but they sent a text message. But from Hunter's standpoint, when the message comes in, if I was in his situation and said, oh, he says he's not here to hurt you, why the fuck do you have a bullet hole in your leg then? That's what I would say. That's what you would say. That's what most reasonable people would say. Why would I believe a word that this guy said? I wouldn't, and neither would you, because that would be insane. So it just clearly demonstrates again that Hunter just basically looked like a fucking sissy.
Look, every single guide I can find on this situation, in an active shooter situation, is that every single one of them advises people to run. Right? That is what they're supposed to do.
We've been over all this. I don't feel like going anywhere.
We have and it was kind of naturally coming there, but we have a special guest caller you both have debated here on the kill stream, actually, now that I think about it. Southern Dingo, host of the world famous groundbreaking show, the Southern AF podcast.
Fucking Southern Dingo. Oh, man. Why? Man. No, I kind of want to hear it. I'm slightly interested, but it's just been so long. Maybe he's better now. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's less annoying. Maybe he's less unfunny. Maybe he's less mentally disabled. Okay? Southern Dingo is just like a kill stream orbiter who has been calling into the show for years and just screams slurs and acts like a retard. Like some stupid fucking boomer. Says nothing interesting ever. But he's like it's just like the name. It's like anytime you hear it, you just want to groan. I just remember it from watching Killstream back in the day and just being like, "Fuck, why the fuck is this guy on?" Oh my god.
and you did a run in on his debate.
Okay, so just
recently.
real quick, before can I just ask Dingo for a single favor? I almost regret asking it, but because we're live on the platforms we're live on.
Yeah,
okay.
he'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Are you
All
kidding
right.
me? I've never dropped a racial slur on him.
He'll be fine. He'll be good. He'll be good, Dingo.
All right.
He
I
knows.
just have one
appreciate
question, and I'm going to leave. So I'm not here for long. My question was to Stardust. Hi, Stardust. Nice to see you again. If the stakes were not like the guy had a gun, but if the stakes were just he was coming to fight Hunter, like fist fight, would you still consider the girl's actions heroic if she jumped in the middle of that? Then you know what I'm saying? Like, would it still be heroic to want to
I
fight
mean,
the guy and protect Hunter if there was no gun?
I would say like what I said about the shooter situation, that it's stupid, but it's heroic. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, have a good night, everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dingo. Have a good one.
Thank you, Dingo. All right, we got the guest caller. Yeah, and I think it's kind of mostly running score. It was really more interesting than I thought it would be. No offense to anybody involved. I was just like, well, we're kind of throwing this out here, drama topic. But actually went to some places I didn't necessarily expect.
I thought it would be an interesting one. I thought, and
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
you know, Andrew and I are friends, you know, so I think
I
it was going to be a good conversation regardless. So yeah.
All right, so Andrew started off, so I'll let him start off here and give his final thoughts here and encapsulate his arguments and points, and then I'll let you go, Stardust.
Look, there's no doubt that Hunter Avallone hates me like nobody on planet Earth. And whenever he mentions me, he says, but as I pointed out on stream the other night, fucking hate that guy. That's how he references Andrew Wilson, which I understand, right? I get why the guy hates me. I actually don't like him very much either, as you can imagine. But he did have an opportunity to at least redeem himself in my eyes. And he's had multiple opportunities to do this. You know, maybe if he had shown some kind of, I don't know, initiative in his own private life so that his wife didn't go off for massive gangbangs, I would have had a little bit more respect for him. But even the fact that that didn't happen, and he moved into this situation where he's trying to maybe move on and put his shattered life into the pieces.
Is quiggling a bit slower than it was before? It is quiggling a bit slower. I did make a slightly slower version because so someone mentioned that it was slightly too quick, I think, for just being a constant thing on screen. So I was like, you know what, I'll have a slower version and a quicker version so that I can have one for if there's like music or something, one for just idle use, you know.
Of his life back together.
Zala sure is friends with a lot of people who use like a punching bag. Very true. That's like all of our friends.
What we see him do instead is when, you know, a confrontation presents itself, and in this case, he egged on in his Avallone style fashion. What we end up with is pure cowardice. If I had written this as a script for how I thought Hunter would react in a situation like this, it would have played out exactly.
Stylo is such a hater, man. Honestly, he's such a hater. This is a good bit. Stylo, you'll get it in a while, okay, man. I'm sure you'll understand it one day.
Exactly like the situation was we saw. You couldn't make satire like this up. It would be something like, yeah, and then the chick threw herself in front of him while Hunter ran like a little bitch crying the whole time, all the way back up. And then they were on the back deck and he was on the phone with the police going, I don't know what the fuck to do. It's so terrible. And while she was in front of the slider, still protecting his ass, you know what I mean? That's how it would have played. It would have been unbelievable to people who were reading the script. They would have been like, this is just pure malice from Andrew. This is just him purely hating Hunter Avallone. That's why he wrote him to be such a sissy in the script, right? But then when it plays out in reality, that's exactly what we see. Pure cowardice and coping after the cowardice is done. We see these multiple streams. Oh, he's so fucked up. He can't stream. Oh, go to my fucking, you know, GoFundMe, you know, and check out this video, which now has some notoriety. Anything he could fucking do to capitalize on the fact that he was a pussy, he's doing. Everything you could ever imagine a sissy would do in this situation is
Outside Cat is the Quiggler, $100.
exactly what Hunter Avallone did, and he coped after the fact, and he's still so.
I've already
traumatized,
thought about this
from
pricing.
PTSD from
Okay.
a police, or I'm sorry, suicide by cop, essentially, that he didn't even witness, right? That he doesn't even know if he's done with his streaming career. The guy just leeches yellow. He leeches it out of his pores. He's one of the biggest fucking cowards I've ever seen in my life. Now, I would love to be able to say something along the lines of, look, I give him the benefit of the doubt. Why not? After all, I don't know what I would do in a situation like that, except while I haven't been in that exact situation, I've been in one very similar, and I know exactly how I responded. I know exactly what I did. So I know what the distinction is. The guy's a fucking wuss. And I guarantee you that if Stardust, old man Beckett, reacted in any way, shape, or form like this, right, she'd get rid of his ass, and I wouldn't blame her. So that's all I'm going to say on that, right? And by the way, when I talk to Beckett later, Stardust, which I will, I'm sure he'll DM me, okay? I'm going to ask him this shit, and he's going to be like, okay, yeah, he's a fucking type. I watched this. He's a fucking wuss. You're right. That's what's going to happen. I'm just saying. So that's my 2 cents on it. I appreciate the kill stream hosting the debate. It was a lot of fun.
Your boyfriend will agree with me. Jesus Christ. Oh, man, the disrespect. Okay, we're getting there now. It's about 15 minutes until Beckett comes in, all right? No, you haven't missed much. This has all been build up, okay? The main event is yet to come, okay?
And I hope we brought some fire tonight.
I've loved it. 2 pros here. I didn't have to do much. Just let him go at it here on the kill stream. Stardust, take it away.
Yeah. So first off, let me start off with you know, Hunter being liable for the X's actions. All right. The X is the one who shot the round, shot the gun, and he is the reason that the ricocheting slug hit Holly in the leg. It is not Hunter's fault. It is solely on Conrad. Conrad is the one who decided to make those actions. Even if Hunter did engage with the X previous to the incident, this was not proportional whatsoever to the level of you know, violence that, you know, on the phone confrontation would be, right? That, like, honestly, it's just completely overblown. I think it's just ridiculous. You know, you engage with a back and forth and get nasty with somebody on the phone does not justify in any scenario that person showing up and trying to kill you with the gun. I think we can all agree on that. And so, to say that, in any way that Hunter is responsible in this, I don't think is true. Secondly, I think that the person with the firearm, Conrad, was able to foresee the consequences of his actions. He was able to know what he was doing. He went beforehand. He retrieved a gun. He went to the address. He found the address by putting the air tags in Holly's luggage. And he clearly had a rational enough mind to do all this planning. And he had been there at least a day before.
There's no trans harem. There's no trans harem. There's no harems. No trans harems. There's none of the sort. Nothing of the sort. There's nothing going on. No degeneracy. That is fucking cringe. Don't even joke about that. Okay. Let's not turn this into a Xander Hall stream, okay?
Had plenty of time to rethink his decisions, and he still went forward with this, trying to shoot and kill Hunter and injuring Holly in the process.
Oh, sorry, Stardust. Go ahead.
So I think that putting that aside, Conrad basically failed in his intention, which is a good thing. I think what happened with Holly and Hunter was clearly teamwork, right? Holly placed herself in between Hunter and the shooter. Can we say it was like an unwise decision? Sure, but was it brave? Absolutely. They both fled, which is what people advise to do. Every single article I read on this is, you are advised to flee when a active shooter situation is unfolding. The further you are away from the gunman, the better your chances of surviving. And in fact, when it comes to fighting, fighting will increase the likelihood of you dying substantially. So they did the right thing. They did function as a team, whether that was Holly stepping in between, whether that was Hunter calling 911 and trying to help her with her injury after that, whether it was, the two of them together in the back, trying to keep each other, sane and comforting each other. So I don't think Hunter was a pussy in this. Like, was he a hero? Maybe not, but he did what he was supposed to do. And I just don't think that it's fair to call him a pussy in this when I would see plenty of other people who would function much worse in this situation. So
you know what the real crime is here? The real crime is that I have 3 times the viewership of Hunter Avallone. Should never even have to talk about him. That's the fucking real crime. The real crime is that Ethan Ralph right now has more fucking live viewers than Hunter's had the last 2 years of his pathetic fucking life, and yet here we are talking about his stupid ass. That's the real fucking crime.
Well, we're in the giving spirit here for Christmas. Andrew Wilson, very good to have you back, sir, in a fully fledged.
Wait. Dude. Look. Intrepid Gamer 11 in our kick chat. Do you guys know the lore on that guy? That's if you guys saw the Chud Stardust 2 hours hate where I spoke to Stardust. This guy was like an ex-community member who like Stardust accused of like stalking her. And now he's back in her chat? Okay.
Bloodsports here on the kill stream, and Stardust, one of the nicest people I know, and she was very kind to me always. But during a rough period this year, sent me a very nice message. I said that the other day. I won't read it out because it was really nice. I'll just say one of the nicest things.
Yeah, that's Psycho X mod. Yeah, bug.
Anybody's ever said to me online. So I really appreciate her, and she's always been great on the show as well. Merry Christmas to you both.
thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Andrew, for engaging in this with me. Even though I'm like comparatively to you, a baby debater, but I do appreciate it. So I always like going back and forth with you.
It was a fun topic, right?
Yeah,
I had debated with somebody. Ralph, find me some good Bloodsports, man. I want to come back.
I'll fire back up. I'll look
debate
for some
again, Andrew. What?
What's that?
Am I not good enough to debate again,
Wow.
Andrew?
Of course. I said, fine, let's do some more good. I love the. I can't help myself.
We can do blood sports. I can turn it up. We can do blood sports.
You should do overtime. Bring Beckett. I really do. I wish Ralph would humor this. You should bring Beckett on right now. I want to hear what fucking Beckett, your boyfriend, has to say about this. If he agrees with any of it, bring Beckett on here.
I don't know if he. Let me see.
He'll come on here. I mean, come on. You got him whipped. Bring him on. Bring on Beckett.
He might be busy right now. I don't know. He's in the UK, so.
Yeah, it's a big call.
Yeah.
I would be down. I won't stop it, but
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Ralph. I want to hear Beckett of Crabs, her boyfriend, right? Do I actually have some respect for him? I'm not gonna lie. He's a nice guy. I want to hear him say to my face that he would do exactly what Hunter Avallone said. I just don't. I don't believe it.
I don't think he would do exactly.
BPF such a bastard. Yeah, literally, he's just the entire next like. I don't even know how long has it gone for. The entire next like hour is just BPF being the biggest cunt and so smug about it that you will ever see. It's amazing.
What Hunter did. I'm saying that when him and I talked about this issue, he said, "Yeah, I think people are freaking out too much about this. I think very clearly like this is just like a situation where they did the best that they could." So
yeah, we got it.
Next to Bad if you just go to the playlist section on my channel, there's a stream VODs playlist, and everything is automatically added there when it ends.
What did he say? Is he coming?
I don't even know if he's alive right now.
It is pretty late in the UK, but
message him anyway. He ain't doing
all
shit.
right, I'll wait and see. Yeah,
Beckett ain't doing nothing. He streams like at 3 o'clock in the morning. He streams like 3 a.m.
Oh, does he? See, I don't think I've seen him. I've seen some pictures of him on Twitter. I don't think I've actually seen him stream. No offense to him. I'm streaming so much of my own too. So
yeah. Well, you stream for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm on air all the fucking time. So, but yeah, if he wants to hop in or is down to, I won't stop it. And I'll also look for some other matchups too, and maybe a rerun with Stardust if we find the right topic. I'm not against that either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if you want me to turn up the blood sports, I certainly can for you, Andrew. I just feel I don't want to cross any lines with you. That's all.
Well,
so, yeah.
It's you're not gonna hurt my feelings. But this was a good debate. I enjoyed it. And it was blood sports. Blood sports doesn't always just mean over the top bullshit.
Yeah.
It just means a contentious debate, really.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in this case, what did Beckett say? I just didn't.
He wants Beckett on yourself.
He's not responding.
He's not responding.
Oh,
if I send him a DM, is he gonna respond?
I mean, I'll be offended.
Oh no!
If he responds to you, he doesn't respond to me.
Well,
But
he said right here he'll come on.
Is he there?
No, I don't know. I just made it up.
Oh,
I wanted to
that's
make
okay,
super
yeah,
comfortable. I just wanted to make it up.
He's such a piece of fucking shit, dude. Look at her fucking face. He's such a piece of shit. So based. I've never heard this trans harm accusation. I'm glad you cleared this up for us. I don't believe you. Styler literally said it in chat.
Anyway, well, all right then, guys. I'll get out of here. Thanks for having me on. And
Oh,
I'll see
he
you guys.
actually might be good. Actually, he
He's
might
good?
be able,
Really?
yeah.
Yes.
Let me see.
Let's go into overtime on this.
I'm down. A little OT period. Oh yeah,
Still
there's
got a whole tall can here to drink, so let's do this.
I don't have one of those. Although I may go get some more water. Oh, you're really making me want a cigarette. I smoked all mine already today, and I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, are you on the wagon?
Yeah, I am on the wagon. Yeah. So
Congrats, man.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been about 3.5 months or so now. So
So
lose a lot of weight
based. Ralph is so back. Look, Ralph and Mills are winning.
as well. So I was already losing, but when you don't drink, it's even easier to do that. So, but yeah, if he wants to pop on, you can send him the Hangout link or the Google Meet link, whatever the fuck they call it now. So, oh, if anybody has any questions, powerchat.live/the Ralph Retort, killstream.live/tip, $sunset squad on Cash App, Rumble Rants, of course. Been streaming for a while. Oh, James dropped a 20. That's a song. You know what? I'll play that while we wait on Beckett to come in, and I'll mute the tab and just message me in the chat, and I'll turn it back on. It's only 2.5 minutes anyway, so if he comes before 2.5 minutes, let me know. I'll play this. Oh, you won't be able to hear it anyway because it doesn't play my audio through Andrew, so it should be fine.
Perfect.
For YouTube. Yeah, it should be fine for YouTube.
All right, well, I'll hang out too. I'm just going to mute on that end as well. You have to chat for a minute till Beckett comes on, yeah?
Let's go!
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right.
Okay, I think we'll swap over to Beckett's VOD now. The main event is coming, guys. Okay. Now we're going to call-ins or call-in. There's only one.
Set any of this fucking up. So give me a second. Apparently I can't get. This is
Why isn't Chud in here acting like a trans meat shield? True.
fucking. Listen, honestly, Google Meet is bad. It's bad. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay. Okay, that apparently works. We'll give this a try, I guess. Fuck it.
All right, now Beckett is here now, though.
Hello, I'm
Beckett,
trying
can you hear
to I can. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get set up. I've just
that's
gone
fine,
live,
yeah.
so
Yeah, take
and
your time.
cheers. Right, okay. Yeah, okay, cool. Good evening.
Good evening,
Beckett,
sir.
I want to hear you say, I want to hear it come out of your filthy British mouth that
Jesus
you
Christ.
would allow for Stardust to throw herself
Thank you for the tier 1 membership, Spudgun. Thank you.
between you and a shooter. Just tell me that.
I didn't
Beckett.
say
Just
that you
tell-
would allow for
just
it.
tell
I'm
me
sorry.
that, Beckett.
I'm sorry. Did you fucking did you just literally get me on a fucking stream to be like, "Hey Becca, I know you're British and therefore are scared of guns. Can you just admit that your like American girlfriend, you'd be fine with her being a human shield? Is that your serious?"
When we get that shield, but it says don't forget to cope, seethe, and dilate. Yeah, thank you again, Mr. Spudgun. Yeah, so literally, Beckett is spot on. That is literally what Andrew has brought him in to do. Just go, so, retard. Using Stardust as a meat shield or not?
Serious fucking argument.
Yes.
Well, like,
And am
okay.
I right or what? Or am I right?
Okay, first off, no, obviously not.
No,
Obviously fucking not. But secondly, that's not what fucking happened, is it? Like,
Yeah, it's not.
No, it is. It is what happened, Beckett.
well,
What
okay.
happened is she jumped in front of him because he panicked and couldn't do anything because he's a dumb, slack-jawed coward, right? That's what actually, but she did jump in front of him. Now, in that situation, Beckett, are you going to say that that's appropriate, that you wouldn't jump in front of Stardust, that you would appreciate if she jumped in front of you because you're afraid of guns, Beckett?
Well, you know, we still have crossbows here.
Beckett isn't actually British, you have to claim him. True, he's South African, isn't he? He's a Safi. He's not actually British.
Would you have
I don't-
stalked him down with a crossbow, Beckett?
Obviously. What else am I going to do in Britain? We've got laws for that. It's fine. I
Yeah.
need a license, of course, obviously.
You got to
and the
answer
right
the
permits.
question, though, Beckett. I see you trying to avoid it. You got to answer.
Look, like
No,
as far as
I mean,
as far as
no.
I know from the Hunter stuff, that's not like she jumped or like got hit in some way by shrapnel, but then they both got out onto the balcony, right? Like it wasn't
Okay,
like
yeah,
he was
yeah.
there
That's
wielding the
what
gun
happened.
next to her.
yeah, so what happened is she jumped in front when she noticed Conrad was holding a gun. Hunter was still calculating what the fuck is going on.
Hang on, stop
here.
there. Stop
And
there.
then
Stop right there.
they
Right
both
there.
ran.
Hang on, just stop there. Just right there. That one point. So me and Stardust will agree on this point before she moves on that he panicked and she jumped in front. Now,
I
Beckett.
don't know about panic even, but like, yeah, he was thinking about the situation. He wasn't sure what was happening.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's all the signs of panic. But she jumped in front. Now, Beckett, the roles were reversed and it was you and Stardust. Would your expectation be that she jumped in front?
It wouldn't be my expectation, no.
Would you
But
jump
it's
in
not
front,
like
Beckett?
it's not like he could control it. It's not. I'm
Yeah,
sure it wasn't
okay.
Hunter's expectation either.
Well, like,
that he
well,
jump
couldn't you
in
play
front.
hopscotch? Like she jumped in front, you jump in front of her, right?
Okay, like, firstly, like, it's very hard to do, like, I fucking the mental gymnastics of this. Unless you've been in those situations. No,
I have.
unless you've been in those situations. Like, I've been in threatening situations as well. I've got a fair idea how I'd act. That doesn't necessarily mean that's how Hunter would act, or even the average person, right?
Yeah, okay. So what?
So
That's not pertinent to my question. My question's
Well-
about you and Stardust. Doesn't even have anything to do with Hunter. Just asking if the roles were reversed, would you be the guy?
yeah, I'd probably
Jump
try
in
and get
front.
her out of the way of danger. Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. But you don't think it's cowardice that he didn't, right, Beckett?
I don't know what their placements were, but look, he didn't just leave her alone. He tourniqueted her injury. They got out the room together. What are your expectations of what Hunter should have done here? Now, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna sit here and defend Hunter Avallone because I don't give a fuck. But like, what are your expectations of what his action should have been?
Well, I would expect him to act in a way that preserves the female's life.
Okay, but what does that look like? Because that could be anything.
Well, in this particular case, her jumping in front of him does the opposite of preservation of her life.
Okay, but how did that
So
occur?
even if
What
the
was
action was just to grab her and run off with her or jump in front of her, any of these things I might consider acceptable. But just to flee the other direction while screaming to her to run, which is what he reported and the papers reported, that seems to me to be the epitome of cowardice.
They were both running.
He was running
were both
first.
running,
He was
yeah.
running first.
He may have ran first, but she was running as well.
Well, he who runs first is the first pussy. That's the way that works.
That's what he's
Okay,
supposed to do. That's what he's supposed to do in that situation.
you're not supposed to let her stand guard as the human shield while
Yeah, didn't Andrew say, I don't know the truth of this, but Andrew said this tourniquet fell off, right? Didn't it come undone?
runs in that situation is not what the situation calls for.
Okay, just from a positioning point in the room here, because like we're getting to the weird logistics. Do we know where they were standing when they became aware of an active shooter?
They had walked down to the apartment building's glass front door, and they were peering out of it when Conrad showed up, and I guess he had the gun with him. So that's all we know about it.
So at that point, is that the point when Hunter was like, shit, he's got a gun, we should run, and then ran?
Well, he was slack-jawed.
He was
didn't know what to do.
He was
He was
trying to
panicked.
estimate. Yeah.
He was panicked and he was slack-jawed, and he said while he was trying to determine what was going on, because apparently his processor is a little bit slow, she heroically ran and jumped in front of him. And then as he was fleeing, he shouted, "Run, run, run."
Okay, well, my question, okay, did she know that her previous partner was there to kill him?
Well, she didn't know it
She
at
had
that
a
point.
suspicion. She certainly did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he had the same
So she-
suspicion.
Okay, so they both had the suspicion that the target of her ex-boyfriend was Hunter, not her.
So what?
Yes.
So the reasonable reaction from her is to be less inclined to run because she doesn't think
Why
her
would that?
ex-partner's
I
gonna
thought
hit her.
that he was an abuser, and we don't believe abusers because they do anything they can to abuse.
Yeah,
So
we might
even if
not
he's-
believe that,
so
but,
why would
she might believe that. We're talking
why
about
would
what people's...
Why would she
No, no.
believe a manipulative abuser? That makes no sense, Beckett.
Well, she was with
Oh,
him
good,
for
fuck
11
off, go
years, bro. Like,
No,
You
no,
know,
no.
she clearly believed him long enough to be with him for 11 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
just because she's stupid doesn't mean that she believed
But
it.
we're not talking about like, hey, what was her intelligent action here? We're talking about what actions people took with the information they had. And the information they both had was
Yeah.
he's here to kill Hunter, get Hunter out the way. He's not here to kill Holly. Holly feels in less danger. Now, whether that's the reality is almost fucking irrelevant to their actions because they're not
I don't think
based.
so. Because if you got a call inside of your little flat or whatever the fuck you call it in the UK, if you got a call from your
house,
manager of your flat,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people always. Yeah, it is kind of a retarded argument.
and your manager of your flat,
That is the point of being like a manipulative abuser, right? Is it making people believe you when maybe they shouldn't?
said, "Hey, Beckett, you fucking Ed Sheeran lookalike motherfucker. There's a guy with a suitcase who's walking around here who looks awful suspicious." And you had an inkling that it might be Stardust's ex-boyfriend there to possibly exterminate you or her or both. If you went to check out the situation, would you take Stardust with you, Beckett?
No, I wouldn't.
No,
You bet
Nah.
I would insist on coming though.
Yeah,
And would
okay.
you
No,
let
no,
her-
you would
let her,
insist
Beckett?
on coming, but I wouldn't fucking let you come. I like,
That's right. You wouldn't-
I fucking listen.
If you've been watching up to this point, obviously you heard earlier, Stardust was very, very agitated over the idea that she could be stopped from going and checking this out, or that Beckett would go first, or that Beckett would, not let her go, So now you might see where this starts to unravel.
Like, I'm fucking okay. I hate both these sides because again, like, yes, there are different expectations here. I'm not Hunter, and there is going to be a different fucking reality to these things. So yes, you're right. I would in those situations, like, either go on my own. In fact, do you know what? Actually, like, as we're talking about what I would do, I probably wouldn't check things out. I would probably secure the location as best I could and phone the fucking police. I wouldn't go on my own with a fucking camera or whatever to check it
I
out.
don't have any
That's
problem.
idiocy.
Look, Beckett, I
like-
don't have any problem with that either. But assuming that you just felt the inclination to check things out, is there any
If I had brain damage, sure.
Is there any world perceivable where you're going to take Stardust with you to do that?
No, there isn't.
No,
You
there
think you
isn't.
can stop me?
Yeah,
Yes,
think
I
you
do.
can
You're
stop it.
fucking
Yeah.
tiny.
Beckett, what are you doing, blood? What is bro doing? BPF has just immediately drawn a wedge between them. And look at this guy's fucking face. And look at this motherfucker's face. Look. Oh man.
Come on, what are you talking about?
Yes, that's what
Of
I want
course
to fucking hear, Beck. Now, Beckett, let me ask you the second question here. Maybe you can
Sure.
make this a bit more decisive for me. I can see that Ethan Ralph's over there. He's about to choke to death from laughter that he's trying to hold in.
Got
But-
you. Yeah,
but the
got
thing
him.
is
Yeah, you
like,
got
look,
him.
over to you, Beckett. After the situation unfolds and they're in the back porch, you've seen the notorious call, right? Where he's filming it. She's shot in the leg. She's bleeding everywhere. She's in front of the sliding glass door. Assume for a second you had made the awful and stupid decision to take Stardust with you, and she had taken one in the leg. As you were fleeing back up, you went through the front door. He sees you go through the front door. One of you has to stay on the end of the balcony, and you're looking over the balcony to determine if he's coming around that way or if he's coming through the front door, but he sees you coming in the front door. Would you put her in front of the sliding glass door, or would you put her in front of the covered position next to the sliding glass door where she's out of sight, Beckett?
I'm trying to get the
Mind you,
logistics.
she's shot in the
here.
leg, by
No, look, she's already seething. You can see it building.
the way, just so you know. At this time, she's
No, I'm just trying to. I'm trying to work out the logistics, like of,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to remember back to the footage. I mean, ultimately, again, she's just been shot. My first thing would be like, how can, like, are we stopping the bleeding? Is she going to be all right? That kind of shit. I don't
Would
know.
you stop her bleeding behind the cover or in front of the sliding glass door where there's no cover?
So you're basically calling him a double coward. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying. Look. I
He's
don't
coward at
see.
first
I
and then
don't.
coward again.
Coward.
I don't think the argument.
Well,
Okay, so I don't think the argument that
I'm
Hunter's a
going
coward.
to take a huge. I have to take a huge issue with this. You know full well, Beckett, that you would not be able to stop me. You can say you would try to stop me, but at the end of the fucking day, I would be coming through that fucking door with you.
Oh, she's spugging. Oh, man. She is spugging the fuck out. So this, I said this in Discord earlier. I felt like this is someone who's watched one too many Joss Whedon movies, one too many Jewish Hollywood reboots, you know, one too many female Ghostbusters. You saw that one bit in Lord of the Rings where that bitch is like, "I am no man," and then kills Sauron. I was like, damn, that bitch is me.
You know it.
I don't think he'd let you.
Look,
stop.
I don't.
know
I,
he would. He would not be
Oh
able
my
to
God.
fucking stop me.
I don't think
act like
either
you
of
would,
us.
because
Listen,
I
neither of
literally
us would be
plenty
going
of
through the fucking
situations
door.
Where I have been the one going out,
God.
all right? So don't fucking act that way.
Yeah,
You see where
but the difference.
feminism
But you're
ends
but
is
you're
where the
asking.
penis begins. that's what.
Okay.
That's what. Just.
Oh my
That's
God.
what we
The
just
Witch
saw
King. Listen, I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. Okay, I've watched those movies through like once. Okay.
live. Beckett said exactly what I predicted he would say before he ever came on
Yeah,
screen.
but
There ain't
again,
no
but
fucking way he'd ever let
No,
you
no,
start
but there's a
"How would he
difference.
stop
There's a
me?"
di-
And
but-
Beckett
but
says,
there's-
"I'd fucking stop her. Believe me."
You couldn't.
Okay,
you
but
could not.
I've been in these.
Plenty
But
of
I've been in
time.
situations like
Plenty
this.
of
Hold on,
time.
hold on, hold on,
Plenty
hold
of
on.
time.
One at a
No,
time.
no fucking way, bro. No fucking way.
Oh. So it just starts getting so awkward here. Like the vibe is so fucked because she is just like spurging out and clearly like actually upset. Oh man.
Don't fucking
This is-
patronize
okay.
me.
I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
trying to fucking. Oh my
no, it
God.
is. It's
Oh my
your
God. How is
patronizing.
I wouldn't let my partner get shot? Me
I
patronizing
wouldn't
you.
fucking let you go out by yourself, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, I know you wouldn't, but at the same time, you would probably be sensible enough to try and stop me from going out. No, you'd probably. I would hope you'd be smart enough that if
Beckett is just like losing
I
it.
was dumb enough to want to go out, you'd try and stop me
I would
because that's
protest.
Look at this smug cunt.
obviously
I would
the
try
wrong.
to stop you from going out. Period. Yeah, but
Yeah,
if you're
sure.
insisting on going
So-
out, you're not going out there by yourself.
Okay, but
She's fidgeting. She's so angry.
okay, but
Come on,
from the
Beckett,
position
that's
of
the chance.
being.
That's your chance to push back. You know
Jesus
you
Christ.
tie her up.
Look at
There's
what
no
you've
way
done,
she's
Andrew.
walking out the
I
fucking
knew
Yeah,
door.
but
right?
listen. Yes, of course, there's no fucking.
No.
And listen, I've been in situations. Listen, honey,
Don't
honestly,
act, no, bro.
Oh, honey, honestly. Honey, honestly. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Don't
no,
even.
there's
Don't-
absolutely no fucking way.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. No,
Yeah,
no.
but it's asking me. It's not asking what Hunter would do.
I'm
And also,
I'm
hold on,
sorry.
hold on,
I
hold
am
on, hold on.
following
Can I just
you, and
fucking?
You can't stop me from following you.
Can I just push back on this whole narrative building from Andrew, by the way, because I understand.
Oh, he's like, okay, I gotta stop arguing with my girlfriend. I need to stop arguing with my girlfriend in the stream. Andrew, what are you doing here?
And why you're doing this and why you fucking phoned me because you know me and you knew what the fucking conversation would look like. But
hey,
I'm not Hunter.
In my defense, real quick.
He did literally say that. He said, listen, Beckett would agree with me. I'm going to text Beckett about this later, and he's going to say, saw that debate earlier, you were right. Oh.
Quick, I did get your back, Beckett. I got your back. So what I did, and Ralph can confirm this, I said Beckett would tie your fucking ass up before he'd let you out of that house,
No,
and
he
he'd
can't.
move you. He would
literally
move you
doesn't
to the
have anything
covered
to do that
position,
with.
whether you liked it or you fucking didn't like it. That's what Beckett's going to do. And you were like, nah, Beckett thinks I'm a strong woman, not feminism bullshit.
No,
And then
not-
Beckett came on
not-
and he was
I'm
like,
not saying that he
"Listen,
thinks
baby,
I'm a
just-
strong woman. I think
house,
that he's
baby.
fucking,
That's
I
what
think he's
Beckett did.
posturing. I think he's posturing right now. Like, let's be real. You do not have anything in your fucking house to tie me up with, and you would not be able to stop me from coming out the door behind you. I would, of course, want you to stop and not even go out in the first place. But if you're insisting on going, there's no way in hell I would let you go out by yourself.
I had your back, Beckett. I want you to
Listen. If there was
I had your
any
back.
reasonable way,
I'm on your side, Beckett. We're on the same team, Beckett. Okay? Listen, I'm on your side, Beckett. It's so fucked.
that I could physically
You're in a
stop you from
relationship
going out.
with me, not
Oh
with
my
him.
god. I'm-
It's so difficult, man. It's so difficult to watch. Because everyone's been in a situation somewhat like this, but this is like next level amplified because it's like online. She's like, her ego's on the line because there's fucking debate. She always feels, you know, inadequate in debates because she's a fucking retard, bro. It's like such a just like a perfect storm of just awful shit for their relationship. It's so based.
I'm not gonna listen. Oh, fuck me. Did you really say that I wouldn't try and stop you going out though? Are you?
No, I didn't.
Beckett, what are you doing, bro? Stop turning on her. Don't turn on her.
Say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I said that I would obviously not let you go out by yourself. I didn't say that you wouldn't try to stop me.
He's laughing at her while she's explaining what she thinks. Beckett, man, this is just about the worst way you can handle a bitch going crazy like this.
Listen.
Honey, honestly, that just gets me. The fact he honeyed her, that's insane. Nah, bro.
Beckett,
Listen,
she's
I
not
think
going
this
out
is
of
a
the fucking
fucking.
house,
This
right,
is a
Beckett?
fucking. Yeah, of course she's fucking not.
No,
Look,
that's
this isn't even
not-
posturing. I'm sorry, like, hun, if you ever
On.
asked
You
me
are
this
fucking
outside this
posturing.
shit.
I'm
No,
gonna
no.
fucking leave. I'm going to rage quit right now. I'm gonna rage quit and I'm actually going to fucking break up with you. Like I am. I'm not joking.
I'm actually going to bring her. It's so hard to watch. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. Why would you do this on a live stream? You have to be the biggest mental child in the world to keep this going on a fucking live stream. You're insane. You're out of your mind.
I'm serious. I will break up with you.
Beckett, now's the chance to call her bluff.
Andrew.
Listen, I don't want to fucking call it bluff.
I am hovering over the leave call right now.
Hang on, hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay, stop.
Listen,
Stop.
no woman on
Even Ethan Ralph trying to settle it down. Oh no.
planet Earth is ever going to dump you because you say that you're going to make her sit there while you
No, I
confront the
will.
danger. They'll
I will
never do it.
I
No, he's
will.
being
I'm
chivalrous.
this close.
Stardust.
I'm this close. I am this
No.
close.
Don't break up with him, Stardust. Come on, Stardust. Don't break up with him on my show, Stardust. Come on, this is too sad. Stardust. Ethan Ralph right now. This is sober Ethan. He's sober good guy Ethan. Holy fuck.
Oh no, it's
Ask
Okay.
it's all
Beckett.
good. It's all good.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
all
enough.
good.
We can wrap it here. It's all good.
Listen,
No,
I
no, we
do
don't wanna
I
see
do
that.
want
Come
I
on.
do want to say one thing because I think this is listen, as funny as it is, I think it's a red fucking herring. Because while this is all hilarious and it's a great little fucking bring your boyfriend in and then he'll reinforce my point. The truth is I don't think this is like accounting for cowardice. I think this is just accounting for like stupidity.
Oh
Like,
yeah, then why wouldn't you do it? Then why wouldn't you do it? Then why wouldn't you take your girl with you? Why wouldn't you do it? Because that's what a fucking coward would do, right, Beckett?
Well, it's okay. Listen, you can call it cowardice if you like. I call it fucking stupidity. I don't know,
both.
Holly.
Can it be both? Can it be stupid and cowardly?
Cowardice. It's not. No.
I don't know if I'd call it cowardice. Like I genuinely wouldn't. The problem here is that the information that they're working on is that it's her ex-partner. I don't think they've been in a relationship very long. Like it's what, a couple of months, if that. You know, it's a radically different situation to like a massively long-term relationship. It's firstly her actual ex-partner who she's been with for 11 years. This isn't just some random fucking person. And also Hunter's in the position where he's been dragged into somebody else's life drama, which is radically different. And what I'd ask you is this, like,
go ahead.
Okay, you're calling Hunter a coward and everything else.
Yeah.
But he didn't just fucking jump over the balcony and try and escape.
You guys are so fucking horrible. That's
Well, I mean, that's because it was a 2-story drop, probably.
I don't know.
So there's that. But not only that, Beckett, really, the whole thing ends here with this. If your best friend, your best pal, was in this same exact situation, and you talk to him afterwards, the very first thing out of your mouth would be, "You stupid motherfucker, why'd you let that chick go out with you? Why did you go out? But at the very least, why the fuck did you let your woman go with you?" And he'd be like, "Oh, fuck." And he would say, "You're fucking dumb and you're a sissy." That's what would happen,
I don't think that would be
But we
the
didn't
first
even
thing out my
disagree
fucking
on
mouth.
this, Andrew. We both agreed that they both shouldn't have gone out in the first place.
Yeah, but is it cowardice that he had to
don't-
drag his chick with him
I don't
in order to
think
go check on the threat? That'd
He
be like
didn't
me waking my
drag her
wife
with
up in the
him,
middle of the
though.
night. It'd be like me waking up in the middle of the night. My wife's like, "I heard a noise downstairs," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll check it out. You're coming with me, right?"
we don't know if
Does that
that's
sound
we,
correct?
wait, Andrew. We don't know that that's what happened.
No,
We don't know that
well,
that's
no,
the
we do.
situation.
We do have the timeline of this
But
because
we
this
we don't have the
imagine saying, "Oh, this bro." Holy fuck!
do.
Okay.
no. We don't have the conversation of him saying, "Hey, do you want to come with me?"
Yeah, but
don't have
why?
that.
Why was she with him?
We don't know.
Well, because he got a call while he's in the apartment. He got the call explaining that there was somebody lurking around, right?
Recap, he thinks chat's miles such made he be saying wild shit in his head. Yeah, but I don't type it. That's the difference. Okay, listen. I have to calm down now, okay? I have to calm down a little bit. After dropping like a couple slurs on stream by mistake, it's time to chill the fuck out, okay? We can't be going too wild.
And he said that he went to check it out, and she went with him.
Yeah.
So we do know. So
we
the thing
don't know
is
why
like,
that happened.
yeah, because he didn't say, "No, bitch, you're staying here." That's why it happened.
No.
It couldn't have happened any other way. How else could it have happened? She was like, she had a gun and was like, "I'm coming with you."
I think
Come
that's
on.
perfectly fucking normal for plenty of relationships. Just because I wouldn't act in that situation in that way doesn't mean plenty of other men wouldn't.
No.
Are you
dude,
checking out the threat in the middle
No.
of the night with Stardust? Come on, dude. No, you're not. You
Are you
not
really
doing
going
that.
to act like I would let you go by yourself somewhere?
You really going to act like you have a choice?
Yeah, I do.
Look,
Yeah.
but I think there are differences in those situations. Like again, we're talking about very specifically Hunter's situation. Yeah, I probably would act differently. But if it's something in the middle of the night, yeah, maybe. Like again, I think women should be firearm trained. Like my mum was like this when we were in South Africa. My dad is
Oh,
not
this bit is so wild. Okay.
a great shot.
Oh, wow.
It was my mum who was like the fucking shooting like to chase off robbers. Women are absolutely capable of defending themselves with firearms. I don't know if I completely agree with your narrative of it should only just be the man. You're asking what I would do, but that's not necessarily normative.
Well, I feel like I have made my case and have completed my case, and I have nowhere else to go with it.
I think you're attributing
Yeah.
stupidity to cowardice and bad decision making. But also,
In
I
fact,
kind
all
of
I need
disagree
to
with
know
the
is
first.
how you would react in the
Yeah, but-
situation. I know that the acting to the
Impish
ulterior to
behavior
that,
here.
you would consider to be pussy. That would be, you would consider him to be a fucking wuss, Beckett. Come on.
Okay. Well, let's ask the other question then. Is the first response to this like why is it just to like come at Hunter? This is what I kind of don't get over this shit because
wasn't
this
the
is
first
obviously
response.
quite a fucked.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
it?
Conrad. At the end of the day, it's Conrad who is responsible for Holly getting shot.
Nobody is making the claim to the contrary. We can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
In
We
fact,
can say that
I
there's
would
no
argue-
justification for somebody to show up and do something like this, while at the same time condemning the things which led up to it and the behavior that was enacted during it. We can do both things. We can say both of these things, and we can even tell you which ones are the most wrong. It was the most wrong what that guy did.
Under
but that doesn't
the
mean
impression, right, Andrew, but under the impression that they didn't think that Conrad would be showing up with a gun. They maybe thought that he would show up, but not with a gun. Under that impression,
who cares if they showed up with a bat or his fist?
Because under that impression, it is perfectly reasonable that she wanted to come along with him.
Oh, I see. Okay, if that's fair, then if that's your actual argument, then Beckett. If it was just a guy showing up with a baseball bat, would you go confront him with Stardust then?
We don't know that he has a baseball bat.
Right, you don't know. But I mean, assuming whatever he has, even if it's just his fist, I mean, he shows up with his bare hands.
Right.
Why in the world would Beckett
the smartest thing would have been, we agree, the smartest thing would have been for them to stay in their apartment and call the police.
And the most courageous thing, and you said this earlier, that you would have considered if Hunter had gone out and confronted him by himself and the guy had shot Hunter, you would have considered that to have been a courageous act. Those words came out of your mouth.
Fucking stupid.
Yeah,
massively
but still
stupid.
Courageous, and that's why I say that's what a pussy is. He does the opposite of what's courageous.
Just because something that you do is something you can do is courageous doesn't mean that by not doing that thing means you're a coward.
Okay, so stupid thing makes you brave. Doing stupid thing makes you brave. Or is it brave because you're doing the self-sacrificial thing on behalf of
It's not even the self-sacrificial thing.
That is cap. No way most girls are going to insist on going. That is so cap. That is so cap. No shot.
You call Holly brave. You call Holly brave because she did the self-sacrificial
right,
thing.
but it was also really fucking stupid.
Yeah, but you said it was stunningly brave, right? It's really stupid when those firefighters run into those burning buildings, isn't it?
No. It's a completely
Why
different.
not?
Because they're trained, they've got the proper equipment.
Are they trained to breathe in smoke, Beckett? Are they trained for that?
No, that's why they've got respirator. I'm not saying it's not dangerous, but it's worlds of difference between a civilian with no training going and trying to do something dangerous.
They're told don't go in, and they go anyway, and they save the kid, and you call them the hero anyway for disobeying, even though they did the stupid thing. This is the expectation that you have of those people. The brave among us is that they're willing to disobey in order to do the brave thing anyway. That's what makes him a hero. That's why you call Holly a hero and you don't call Hunter one.
I'm sorry. Can I ask you honestly? Honestly,
I'm almost done, bro. And then you can respond. And that's the same reason that fucking Beckett is the guy who's going to go out in his underwear with the handgun or the baseball bat or whatever the fuck.
Because the point where BPF makes a case for saving Conrad. No, sadly not. He didn't take that angle. He clearly hasn't cottoned on to the truth.
It is, and say, you stay right the fuck there, lady, until I check out whatever this is, because that's how it works.
Are you seriously arguing? This is a genuine question, because through all the attacks on Hunter, it feels like if he'd got shot, everyone would still be sitting here going, he's a fucking idiot for getting shot. I don't see a win condition for Hunter.
At least be a brave idiot.
But would you be saying that, or would you be like, wow, what a fucking idiot? I don't think you might say brave idiot occasionally, but he's still fucking dead, isn't he?
But wouldn't you say the same thing with the firefighter though, right? The guy who runs in, doesn't save the children, gets the smoke inhalation and dies. Nobody likes the one who doesn't win, right? But he runs in anyway. If he comes out with a kid, he's a hero. If he dies inside, he was stupid. But the delineation
Holly is alive.
The delineation there is really just the preference.
No. Holly is alive.
We gauge
he tourniqueted her leg. He got in touch with the police. He managed to gather evidence while he was doing it of what was going on, which is the same thing many journalists do in those situations. That's not unique to Hunter. That is a normative response for people who gather information.
So let me get it right. Oh, he dialed 911. Literally the three numbers everybody on planet Earth can remember.
Is Holly dead?
Well, she got shot.
Oh, that's a major Yankoid moment. 911 being universal. Okay. Not quite, buddy. But
he dials
but
9.
That's not the answer to the question. Is she dead?
No, so what? Hang on, he's dead. The other guy's dead. Maybe there could have been a situation. Are we just only concerned with only the preservation of those two lives?
The guy who was turning up to try.
I'm almost done. While I would consider his life to be less valuable in that situation than theirs, you don't know what other reactions could have preserved everybody's life? You have no idea. These are all post hoc rationalizations and ad hoc rationalizations. So what I'm saying here specifically is this: the delineation point and the reason that Beckett would go his ass out fucking side is because he knows that the way that men do things is that way. The way that they don't do things is say, well, why don't you come along with me, Stardust, and we'll go confront together. It's not how that works.
I do.
It's not. Why don't you come along with me? Right. Again, given that they were not aware that he had a gun, right, and given that they were, this was like the daytime.
Echidna, do you have an Enkidu? Do you have an alt account that you chat in Food Shop's chat on?
As well, like you can come up with all of these, speculations of what he should have done. But at the end of the day, again, you are saying all of these things after the fact. In the situation, what he did was the correct thing to do. Every single
I'm just curious why. If it was because he got banned there or what the deal was.
Expert on active shooter situations advises them to do exactly what they did, with the exception of Holly stepping between them.
This is only if you start the
even
story in the
though-
middle.
We can all agree, though, right? They
between
should have
them.
never. They should have never went outside.
Yeah, you're only
Yeah.
starting.
We agree with
That's what I'm
that.
saying. You start the story in the middle. So you're like,
Yeah.
what you do is you start the story in the middle, and you go, if we start the story in the middle, they did the right things. And it's like, well, yeah, great.
I mean, the thing is, you can try and like bring up Andrew's like dead kid as like a sick own, right? Yeah, Andrew's kid died in a car accident, 10-year-old child, and you'll see later as we get into this, Queen Alexa tries to bring it up to like get under his skin, and he just powers through it. He literally like it's insane. It's such a scummy fucking thing. Like that's like, I'm not particularly worried about whether people say something that's a bit offensive or fucking digs deep, but holy, that's like going nuclear. So you better have a good fucking justification for it. And Queen Alexa just fucking went for it, but Andrew didn't fucking even flinch. He kept going with what he was saying. You'll see it later anyway if you stick around.
I'm not granting you that we're going to start the fucking story.
Okay, but hold on. But your gotcha with bringing me here. Hold on, your gotcha with bringing me here was, hey, Beckett, you wouldn't let her go out with you, right? It's like, yeah, but I wouldn't go out in the first place. I answered your question, which was, no, I wouldn't if I was dumb enough to take those actions. But that's not quite the gotcha you think it is, because again, I'm not Hunter. I act in a different way. No, it's not, Andrew. Like, I don't accept that, because let me ask you this question: If you were unarmed, I don't care what you fucking accept. If you were unarmed, are you telling me you're dumb enough to go and like confront somebody who hates you, feels like you've stolen their partner, wants to kill you, and may be armed? Are you telling me you're that fucking
Food's officer
stupid?
fucking retard for not taking the $500 to clean a fucking room. Insane.
No, but I can also tell you unequivocally that if I was such a person who was dumb enough, for whatever reason, in that particular situation to go and confront them, my wife's staying her fucking ass inside. Right, Beckett?
Yeah, but so the argument here is Hunter did the dumb thing, and again, this isn't his wife. This is a girl who actually, do you know what? This is kind of an interesting one as well. If you didn't know they were armed, and your wife had a much better, let's say your girlfriend, let's say you weren't married, you'd only been together a couple of months.
Basically, when Andrew debated food shops, he offered her $500 to clean her room on stream.
And this was her brother or something. And you know her brother hates
No, BPF called Queen Alexa a groomer.
you. Would you let her come then?
You mean if her brother was showing up?
Yeah, let's say her brother was like really unhappy with your relationship and may seriously dislike you. Like you suspect that he may want to hurt you.
Yeah.
Would you let her come with you to see her brother?
I don't know.
Oh, no,
but I'm not
no,
sure-
no.
I'm not sure
Because
that
this is
that's
the
all
thing.
that relatable when it comes to
No, I
family
actually
versus if
completely
it comes
fucking
to a
disagree with you.
boyfriend.
Because the reason Holly got shot was because that
Mhm.
she was trying, again, yes, she did the heroic thing and tried to protect Hunter, but she knew that Hunter was the one that he was after. So much
Yeah.
like if you were with your girlfriend and she was going and her brother was coming and she knew that her brother wanted to hurt you, she may get hit with shrapnel while trying to protect you from her brother. Now that might be that you might argue then, well, you know, I should just
Nah,
take.
I think it's a different
take the bullet.
dynamic between family and somebody you're fucking, bro.
But this isn't
I think
just
it's
somebody
entirely-
she's
I
fucking.
think it's
This
an
is some. No,
entirely-
hold on.
I
Do
think
you
it's
think
now,
there's a?
let's say if it was the same history where they're like, my brother's a mentally ill.
Is Queen Lexa a groomer? It's. What a question. When Queen Alexa was like 21, she was in private disco. We'll get into it later. Like 21 and 17, and the kid came out as trans after a little while of speaking to Queen Alexa. That's what I'll say. Okay.
Abuser lunatic, right? Then I would have barricaded us both in. Right?
Yeah, okay, but no.
Unarmed?
But we're skipping that point. We're skipping that point. You didn't call me in here to ask if it was you. Would you barricade you both in? You brought me here to ask whether I would go out on my own.
The extension of that then in that situation, if it was the same history, you're just adding it's a brother instead of a boyfriend, I would still, even if I was dumb enough to go and make the confrontation, would still leave my wife the fucking side, Beckett.
Okay, but this is why
And
I
so
think
would you.
it's
And so
almost.
would you.
But this is why it's almost a. Actually, hold on. I actually don't know if that's the case. If
Well, go
Star's
ahead.
brother did something, no. If Star's brother turned up, I'd that would be a very different dynamic.
No. That's not. Hang on. That's not what you said. So it's all the entire case is the exact same. You're just inserting now it's the brother rather than the lover, but it still has the same abuse, the same all that shit, which the chick reports to you.
My
in this
relationship
case,
with
the
Stardust
sister
now. You're not asking me what
she
it was
has,
like.
So she has the same. She has the same exact thing. It's just with her brother instead of her lover. You would still do the exact same
But
shit.
it's not just.
Alexa's 21. No, Alexa was 21. I believe Alexa's 23 or 4 now.
It's not just her lover, is it? It's someone she's been with for 11 years. They've been together basically their entire romantic history. Would you? I mean, again,
this is pedantic.
She's 29. She spent her entire 20s with him.
I don't
this is
think this
pedantic.
is pedantic. I think
with
this
the
is
brother,
really fucking.
with the brother, she spent her whole life. What's your point? It's the same situation.
My point is,
you still would do the exact same thing. You'd barricade yourself in if you had no weapons, and if you didn't, and you were going to go confront, you'd leave the woman there. In both cases, you know it, I know it, Ralph knows it, Ralph's audience knows it, my audience knows it, Stardust, and we all fucking know it.
Yeah, I would barricade us in, but that wasn't your original fucking question, was it? And when you asked me that question, I clarified it immediately that I wouldn't go outside. So the point is, if Star and I had just started dating, like let's roll the relationship back, and it was her ex-husband or something that doesn't exist, by the way, before anyone gets any ideas, that they were still fucking married and they were going through a divorce. Yeah, that probably would be a different situation. Like, because again, we keep generalizing.
But hang on.
Also, guys, now is a great time to remind you. Please like, subscribe, donate, buy a membership, gift a membership, buy a super chat if you can. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If we were to hyper specify here and say, okay, if it didn't have any of the abuse markers and it didn't have any of that, then yes, it is a different situation. But in this case, if you're just saying all things are equal, and all of those abuse markers are still there and everything else is still there. It's just now we're inserting a family member rather than somebody you were having sex with and in a relationship with. I still think we would react the exact same way in both those situations. Tell me I'm wrong, Beckett.
Okay, what's a good way to put this? I think that even if you want to make those arguments that the abuse markers are there, so it's an additional, that you've got these exceptions and everything else, I think when you look at this at the aggregate of the way that people behave when they get shot at and murdered, I don't think Hunter's actions are out of the realms of reality. And I will say that I think that Hunter's... The only reason this is getting hyper-analyzed the way it is because people hate Hunter Avallone. And I get hating Hunter Avallone, right? Like when he was going through his divorce, I wasn't particularly kind about him. I get that. But in this case, I just feel like I feel like it's picking at those little holes to the point where you're just like, he's just a fucking coward. But Holly's alive. He's alive. Ultimately, well, look, obviously, I don't want anyone to fucking die.
Yeah,
but the police were able to get there and deal with it.
Holly did a good job.
So did Hunter.
When
she
valid.
Hunter managed to tourniquet her. She was shot in the leg, which is incredibly dangerous, and she didn't fucking bleed to
You
death.
started the story in the middle as
can you
well.
and I agree on this? Can you and I agree on this? Anything that you do is ahead of your relationship, and I sure hope to God you think that you're the head of your relationship. But anything you do is ahead of your relationship, which could affect your woman and could affect your children, you're responsible for.
Tread very carefully, Beckett.
Bro, let's just take that back. Just what can we?
But anything you do is ahead of your relationship, which could affect your woman and could affect your children.
So he's totally silent when he says head of the relationship, and he's calculating the response here.
You're responsible for.
Tread very carefully, Beckett.
Tread very carefully, Beckett.
Firstly, our relationship is a partnership. Our relationship is a partnership. I'm not gonna like fuck off, Andrew. Being like, no, fuck off.
Very careful.
Listen. I'm British. It's fine. Our relationship is a partnership.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
So and then she goes, he's used to getting cucked. Don't worry about it. What do you mean by that, Stardust? What do you mean by what? What are you referring to, Stardust? This is something despicable, disgusting that women are always doing. I will say this. This is a woman behavior, okay? I'm sorry. It is. When you just bring out some, assumedly she's playing on some private aspect of their relationship. Something that's happened, maybe Beckett is a cuck. Maybe she's cheated. Who knows what's happened? Something's happened. And she's bringing it out. She's making vague allusions to it in like this really just insidious and like try to get under his skin way. Cheated how? Yeah, true. But that's the sort of thing she's referencing, right? That's the sort of thing she's referencing. She's clearly saying something's happened. Something's happened in their relationship. There's bad disagreement, or there's something going on. And she's like pseudo leaking. Everyone's had a woman do this to him before. It's fucking. It's every time it happens, you just think like it is one of the most repulsive. Just you don't interact with women. Yeah, even if it isn't about anything that happens, it still portrays it like he's done something wrong. Yeah, exactly. It's like it's putting the idea out there to people. It's like this weird, really like horrible, almost. I would almost go as far as to say, the Mr. Girl in me wants me to say it's abusive. I want to say it's abusive.
Fuck all of you. Our relationship's a partnership, but yes.
Wait, what did she just say? Stardust, what did you just say? He's used to what?
I'm joking, obviously.
She's mad at me. It's fine.
I'm joking, obviously. Okay.
She's allowed to be fucking mad at me because you pulled me. Listen, Andrew, you and I are going to have fucking words after this, okay?
It's not fucking Andrew's fault.
Next time there is anything I can...
Listen, just because your girlfriend's a complete mental child and can't have a calm conversation offline. Oh, it is. She's knowingly publicly degrading him. There's no partnership there. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like this. It's publicly degrading. He's said something wrong. He's expressed beliefs that she didn't like, and she's punishing him for it.
Exploit.
Yeah, I mean, you and I are gonna have words after this too, Beckett. Just so you know. So, you know.
Find your balls, Beckett. Say that you're the head of the household.
I own the
household,
fucking balls.
You
I
do.
own the fucking balls, and my balls are bigger than his. All right.
Whew, Beckett, bro. I feel like I'm helping you dodge a bullet here,
So,
brother.
I will fucking murder him. All right.
Firstly, our relationship's a partnership. Secondly, yes, I do think
It's just so disgusting. The way Stardust behaved here is just so wretched. She is actually just such a cunt. Actually, save Beckett. Seriously, save Beckett.
that, but I also expect Star to feel exactly the same way. And I've said this multiple times. One of the reasons that I date Star is how reliable she is, how intelligent she is.
Did you hear that stutter?
One of the reasons that I date Star is how reliable she is, how intelligent she is.
How reliable she is, how intelligent she is. Let's say that one more time. Let's run that. Let's run that back.
One of the reasons that I date Star is how reliable she is, how intelligent she is.
Say beautiful next, Beckett.
One of the reasons that I date Star is how reliable she is, how intelligent she is. She's great at those things. So
great at those things.
I don't need to carry all the fucking burden.
Yeah, Beckett, is it a partnership or is it a partnership?
What's that meant to mean? Do you mean do we have a destiny relationship?
No, Beckett, you don't ask what's the quotations meant to mean. You just say, no, it's a partnership. That should be a very easy answer here, no? If that's what you believe.
Relationship.
Well, I mean, like now while you're on air, it's a partnership. But then behind the scenes, you might be like, why don't you shut the fuck up?
We don't want to go there.
Shut the fuck up, and you're going to do what I say. Like,
no. Let's be real. Beckett does not even want to go there because it is a partnership, and how much of a partnership it is, it would be actually, honestly, not good for him. So, yeah.
It would be not good for him. So she's saying he doesn't do as much as me as well now. Like, just insane.
All right,
it's very helpful.
It's true. It's true. Have a holly jolly.
If Mr. Girl was talking this way about his girl, she would freak the fuck out. Nasty woman. So true. So true. Imagine if Mr. Girl was talking like this about Shaylin on a stream. Imagine if she watched this happen to Shaylin. What would she say?
All right. Look, I'll leave it there, guys. I've enjoyed very much the conversation. I feel like I'm gonna get Beckett killed if we keep going.
I think you might. Yeah, let's stop there.
Thanks, Andrew. I really appreciate this, buddy. This has been fucking fantastic.
He really got
fucking
you, man.
yankoid cunt.
We want that one more time as well, don't we? We want to hear that one more time.
Let's stop there.
Thanks, Andrew. I really appreciate this, buddy. This has been fucking fantastic.
He really got
fucking
you, man.
yankoid cunt.
Who did you think you were talking to? You got.
I didn't get any fucking warning as to what the question was. I just got Andrew wants to phone you. Sure, I don't fucking know.
No, Beckett, shut up. Beckett, shut the fuck up. All right.
She's such a horrible bitch.
Yeah, Beckett.
Andrew and Ethan. Okay, who the fuck did you think you were talking to? Do you?
I
think
knew what was gonna happen.
You think that I would date somebody who wouldn't be able to handle how feminist I am? Are you fucking kidding me?
Just so painful.
I mean, no man could come out and say they would let their woman go out with them to confront.
Yeah, I'm going to watch whatever Stardust has spoken about afterwards. We're going to just get through. We get through the meltdown, we get through some of the aftermath. We'll probably get up to the Queen Alexa allegations, and then we're going to watch the Stardust stuff from tonight. And then we're going to, if we have time, we'll move on to the Queen Alexa stuff tonight. If not, we'll save it.
On a guy with a shotgun, or they'd be called a pussy. Like,
not that he would let me. Like, he cannot fucking.
They would put you down, Stardust. Like,
Stardust.
A woman go outside with a maniac.
Look at how many times have I been the one going out? All right, let me just say that. All right,
he couldn't say that even if he would let that happen because he would look like a.
Star is highly fucking capable. No, Star is highly fucking capable I'm not disagreeing with that.
But that's why.
Okay, so the problem with this is like the question is how would I react in this situation, and it's probably not the same sort of like logical, rational thing with everything else because I've been in situations.
Might be some interesting perspectives to look at the last 2 or 3 minutes of her stream. I don't know what she's saying, but last night she started kind of trying to say it was just content, and then someone pushed her on it. Oh, saying she felt cucked by what Beckett's saying. She should stick up for herself. Well, okay, we'll get to it.
It's like this. I've seen them go fucking horribly wrong. But again, Hunter probably doesn't have that fucking experience. That's why it's a bit of an unfair question.
That's because his woman was out getting gangbanged.
This British show got recommended to me. What is this about? We laugh at small political streamers when they do embarrassing things because they frequently do embarrassing things. And right now we're watching these 2 politics streamers are in a relationship together, online relationship, and he's been called in to a debate that she is having with the guy in the top right. And now they're about to break up live on stream because of an internet debate about politics.
The camel.
That's because most people are smart enough to not get themselves into these situations in the first place. I was just dumb when I was younger.
Where their wife leaves them to get gangbanged. Now listen, I can understand if it was Carissa, maybe he'd want her to jump in front while he ran the fuck off. But if it's a chick that you like or a chick that you're with who you have some respect for or something like this, come on, Beckett. She ain't coming out the fucking door with you. That's just the way it works, bro.
He can't fucking stop me. He
I
can't.
don't think Hunter could have stopped Holly, and also I don't think the dynamics are the same.
Oh yeah,
I just don't.
I'm sure he couldn't have stopped her when she had a bullet hole in her fucking leg. Couldn't move her to a covered position while he stood in front of the glass door. There's no possible way, Beckett. It's just like there's no way he could have done that.
Hold on. From what I can remember in the footage, like there's not a huge amount to cover.
I mean, this one with no context has got to be fucking wild. Yeah, there were people doing like during the food shop stuff as well. I was like, there is like no way I can possibly even begin to explain to you why any of this is funny to me.
Anyway.
Oh yes, there is.
They're overlooking the balcony. No, hold on. They're overlooking the balcony where the stairs are coming up so that they can see access to their front door. He's the one leaning over to get the information. Firstly, he needs to get that information to see if like the guy's coming through. And if Holly's in his position, isn't she just as fucking vulnerable? Because the dude wasn't in the the dude wasn't in the apartment at the time. He didn't want to shoot Holly. They knew that he didn't want to shoot Holly because he was
in case he came in. So they were looking from 2 positions. So he's looking from the position off to his right, which is off the side of his deck, which has an elevated at least some kind of fence that's right there that you can see, right, which is very common for decks inside of the United States, especially if you're on a second story. But even on the first story, you'll have some type of gate around the deck, wooden gate. She would have been in a better position to be on that side while he stood in front of the glass, but instead she stood in front of the glass, even though she had a bullet wound already.
But she was also texting him at the time about how he doesn't want to kill her.
Position? No, about the same exact fucking debate that I had with Andrew. Like,
yeah, no, Andrew, I just think.
All right, fair enough.
I just think I think you're just running in a.
You really want to do the same exact debate with him, you know?
Amazing overtime segment on the kill stream.
Right, okay.
I have to say, there was one super chat for you, Andrew.
Sure.
Let me read this. It says, BPF's lungs, please, Andrew. We can't take any more cigarettes. You have smoked 2 packs in this debate alone. Please, we are so black. We have started robbing liquor stores. Is what it says.
Fuck you, BPF's lungs.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas
to
you,
Ethan. It
Ethan.
doesn't cause any problems, Beckett. I knew that was about to happen. Impish behavior.
No, I probably shouldn't have invited him. I shouldn't have even told him. I shouldn't have even told Beckett that Andrew was asking for him to come on.
I knew exactly
because of course, he's just going to use it as an opportunity to undermine me, right? So nice.
What?
Thanks.
That is,
bro. You're in the doghouse, man.
You're in the doghouse. Yeah, you better start shopping for some nice
All of you are in the doghouse. Every single one of you. Andrew, we are no longer friends.
Jesus Christ, she's so mad.
I'm no longer friends with Andrew. I'm no longer friends with Ethan.
No!
And Beckett,
Wait a minute!
goodbye. All right, I'm just
No!
kidding. I am
No,
no
wait
longer.
a minute.
Wait,
I didn't do anything.
no, we're none of
That's
us.
Andrew.
I'm
I didn't
done.
do anything. No, that's not
Ethan
fair.
didn't even do nothing.
That
I didn't
doesn't
do
matter.
nothing.
Doesn't matter.
I
You're all
even stopped you
complicit.
from breaking up with him on air. What do you mean?
Oh, it would have
That
been
would've been
content.
content.
Why did you stop it?
Well, because I felt bad for you. What the fuck? I didn't want to see that.
Oh, well, Ethan, I'm sorry that I broke up all of your friendships this evening,
What
but
the
thank
fuck,
you,
man? I
thank
can't
you,
lose any more friends.
thank you for having me on the kill streak this evening.
So obviously here she says it would have been content. So you can see she's trying to sort of like, cope a little bit, and she says later on in the stream, oh, it was just content, and then like a chatter says to her, oh, I don't think it was content. She was like, well, it was content up until like the Beckett call, and then some of that wasn't content. But we'll watch. We'll see. Over the next 10, 20 minutes, let's see if you guys think it's content.
I appreciate it.
Merry fucking Christmas to all you. The unstoppable
fucking Christmas.
Stardust, the indomitable Andrew Wilson. Beckett, thank you for joining us in your debut. What a hellacious debut here.
Have a great night, man.
Right.
Thank you for
Thanks,
having
all.
us, Ethan.
You're welcome. Merry
Much
Christmas,
appreciated.
Stardust.
Merry Christmas.
All right, bye. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
I'm going to get murdered.
Jesus.
I'm going to get fucking murdered. Okay? Listen. Fucking pray for me.
And why, when your girlfriend is this mad, this is what I don't get. Why, when she's this mad, do you then go on your stream and start talking about it like this? You're a fucking idiot, bro.